Okay, Israel. Hope everybody's doing well today. We're back at it on Monday. Getting this knowledge out, getting this word out. Shout out Cabo Cobb and his congregation in Guatemala. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Shout out SOW Virginia, Kazakia, SOW Houston, Quatazop, and SOW Rochester, New York, Zion. I hope your brothers are doing well. Our gathering's coming up real soon, so it'll be really nice to get reacquainted with everybody and get to see how everybody's doing. Hope everybody is doing well. Coming up this week, though, this Wednesday night is going to be the memorial blowing the trumpets. Just getting everybody a heads up. It starts on Wednesday night. We will have class that night, and we'll gather up that Thursday night and enjoy each other's company on Thursday night. But Wednesday night, it is a high holiday. So just keep that in mind. More than likely, Shamshawan's going to, whether briefly or the total class, I'm not sure how he wants to do it. He'll go over the topic. And then this marks the first day of the 7th month of the year, which is on Wednesday. And right after that, we're going to be dealing with Day of Atonement, which is 10 days later. And then the Feast of Tabernacles, which is after that. So this next few weeks are going to be very busy with gatherings and coming together and working on relationships and brotherhood building, sisterhood building, working on what's inside of us, being reflective about our conduct. So just start gearing your mind towards, being repentive. And we should be being repentant every damn day, but this is the time to do it. So let's sit back here and take this serious as we go into this high holiday season. Today we're going into our class. The title is Israel's Purging in the Wilderness. Now we've been going over a series of topics dealing with as soon as the nuclear destruction hits America. I chose not to start in the rumors of wars period, but to focus more on when the bombs drop, when the destruction hits the United States and the other imminent cities, what happens next, and what happens to civilization. And what we've explained so far is the nuclear bombs are dropping, America's going to be burning, the imminent cities around the world will be destroyed also. Then we went into Christ and the angels coming down and destroying the armies and the major countries that still had military weapons, still had weapons of destruction, weapons of mass destruction. Christ is going to come back and annihilate all that. But, from prior classes, it was kind of like in my opinion, a lot of the details were kind of left out after the bombing hits and then after Christ comes back with his destruction. But after that, then we have the angels coming down and isolating and attacking. The military presence is still in the mountains, and the elites still in the mountains hiding from the thermonuclear destruction. So we're going to be dealing with that also. We've already went through that, I should say. That was the last class we had, and how the angels are going to be going through all these cities, all these mountains, still gathering all the elites, the ones who did the majority of the damage to the people. We've gone over that. We've gone over how they're going to be captive and waiting until Israel gets developed or purged, which brings me to the next part of the class. The next part of the class is just dealing with the rest of the nation. Once we get delivered, once the angels come deliver our people and the ones the Most High chose to be delivered, does everything just stop from there? Did we get taken out of the chariots or picked up in the chariots and we're smiling and dancing and everything's okay? Or is there way more to it than that? The answer
are we in the clear?
Are we in the clear?
The question is, are we in the clear? Listen, making it out, getting away from the bombs, and escaping the fire is a heck of a
accomplishment,
a blessing. But let's not act like we're out the situation.
A lot of the thinking is that when Christ comes back, and we're watching the United States and these countries get destroyed and leveled with fire from Christ and the angels. Then you sit back here and think we got it made because we're in the chariots.
I had it made.
Being taken somewhere. Okay, exactly. But in actuality, there's a lot more to that, and there's a lot more work that we have to deal with until we get the final transformation, which we'll go into in a little bit.
Which is the real victory.
So without further ado, the first verse and chapter we're going to go into is Psalms 91, verse 1 through 11. Psalms 91, verse 1 through 11. And this chapter will kind of give us an overview of what we've dealt with so far and what is to come. Okay, so let's get this. Psalms 91.
Psalms 91, verse 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
Listen, he says, those of us who dwell in the secret place of the Most High. That means his protected place. The ones who are dwelling in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Meaning, for those of us who have put our lives on the back burner, have made sure that the Most High comes first, brothers and sisters come first, the nation comes first, what the scriptures are saying is they're going to be the ones that ride under the shadow of the Most High, the protection of the Most High.
So the shadow is the protection.
The shadow is the protection. Brothers used to always talk about rush, R.U.S.H. which is rush, riding under the shadow of the highest. And this is the verse that they were kind of using and explaining it. Okay? But let's continue.
Come, verse 2. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my power. In him will I trust.
Now we say these words by our what? By our actions. Our actions show the Most High that he comes first. He's our refuge. He's our protection. He is the power that heals and protects and directs. Okay? Read on.
Come. Psalms 91 and 3. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler.
He says, he will deliver thee from the snare of the fowler. When you sit back here and look at the fowler, it's the person who creates the snares. When we sit back here and are really beamed in into Christ, when we're really beamed in with the Most High, we will be able to diffuse and dodge and protect ourselves from the snare of the fowler. Who is the fowler? Who is the person that creates the snares in the first place? It's really Satan. So he's like, the more we're tied into Christ, the more we communicate, the more we're in order. That's the only way we can protect ourselves from falling spiritually. The more we fall spiritually, then we'll sit back here and fall short of the heavenly kingdom. And then we'll be seeing those bombs coming from the downward perspective up versus up looking downward. So reading in verse 3 is saying, the Most High will deliver us from the snare of the fowler. The fowler is the person who sets the traps for fowls or sets the traps for individuals.
There's multiple scriptures that show that. Psalms 124 and 7 says, our soul is escaped as a bird out of the snare of fowlers. It always shows you the visual of a bird trying to escape something. And what's escaping is that little lasso where they put their leg in the lasso and they try to fly away, they get their leg caught in the lasso.
I don't know if you ever was a little kid and tried to get pigeons. When you put the stick, you stand the stick up and you put like a wooden box on top of it and you put some food in there and you're waiting for that pigeon to get all the way under the box and you snap, you pull away the stick and you got the bird.
Exactly.
And you won. That's temptation in a nutshell. That's our temptation. Or do we get enticed into our lusts? We get enticed with our negative outlook. And we get pulled out enough to get snatched.
And it's always telling you to deliver yourself. Proverbs 6 and 5 says, deliver thyself as a roe from the hand of the hunter, and as a bird from the hand of the fowler. I mean, there's a predator-prey relationship. And we know when we read the scriptures about Satan as what? As a roaring lion doing what? Seeking whom he may devour. That says, be not ignorant of the devices of the what? Of the wicked.
So I don't want to go too much into that point, but because we're going to be going to a topic that's similar to this after we finish the kingdom. But if the only way to get away from those snares that are set up for every single one of us, we have to be humble and tuned in with Christ in order to get out of these different snares that are set up for all of us to fall. Let's
Which in this society would be education.
Yeah, but I don't want to go into it. I don't want to go into it. I promise we'll go into this topic very soon. Okay? Let's continue.
Psalms 91 and 3. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler.
And if we get delivered from the snare of the fowler or the person who entraps, what's the reward from being delivered from the snare of these influences, the snare of us falling into our weaknesses, our lust? What's the reward? Read on.
And from the noisome pestilence.
The noisome pestilence is this thermonuclear destruction.
The noisome means noise.
Yes. It's not
It's
like
a
it's
pestilence that makes noise. Bacteria doesn't make noise.
Yep.
Viruses don't make noise.
This is a noisome pestilence that will kill millions upon millions upon millions. It's not the Black Plague. It's the plague on blacks. And the rest of the world who don't want to lock into God.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
That's right. Con.
But then listen, it's for everybody who gets caught slipping.
Yeah.
The pestilence is waiting for you. That noisome pestilence, so we can escape it
Con.
if we escape the snare of the fowler. You see what he's trying to explain? Listen, I remember years ago, brothers would sit back and say, Psalms 91 is perfect proof that David was a prophet. Okay. This is literally prophecy we're reading about that from David's time. Okay. Well, let's keep reading.
Come, verse 4. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings,
under his chariot. He's going to protect us from this noisome pestilence with his feathers and his wings. And what are his feathers and his wings? These chariots. Okay, read on.
And under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler.
He's saying he's going to protect us and cover us from all difficulties as long as we hold on to his truth. We hold on to these scriptures. We hold on to this word.
His word. Thy word is true.
If the word is our shield and buckler, our protection, then we won't get caught by the snares that are presented right in front of us all the time. The snares through social media, the snares through people around us. We can protect ourselves if we cleave to him. And I'm going to say real quick before I don't want to take it off the point. What is the only way we can cleave to the Heavenly Father? What's the greatest way we can do it? We have to sit back here and invest way more time into pursuing him than we invest time into finding a man, finding a woman, getting on social media, looking for breaks. Most of our life is consumed with looking for mental breaks, looking for mental escapes, looking for different things to stimulate our mind. If you want to cleave to the Most High, then cleave to these scriptures. Cleave to this book. Cleave to reading, learning, and understanding. And if you do that long enough and consistently enough, you can protect yourself from the snare of the fowler. And while we're being protected, we protect ourselves from these bombs that are coming. We protect ourselves because we hold him fast. This is an important chapter to start because we've been sitting back here. There's been a lot of doom and gloom in these last few weeks about topics and verses. It's a lot of sad times. A lot of the world's over. Every damn Sabbath I'm reading like Israel's messing up. Yep. Every 5 minutes Israel's screwing up. Next generation screwing up. And I know that wears on me, and I know it wears on y'all. But let's not forget, getting to Christ, getting to salvation is possible if you commit yourself to it.
To him.
If you commit yourself to him, it is possible to obtain salvation. But let's continue.
Psalms 91 and verse 5. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night.
And this is important for us. We shall not be afraid by the terror at night that is about to come. The wars. Listen, you see in society things are getting worse and worse and worse. Society's collapsing. Wars are about to happen. Stocks are about to fall. I don't know if you've been watching. Stocks are getting real shaky right now. Listen, there's strikes. There's labor strikes going on the East Coast, which means prices are going to get higher and higher and higher. Things are collapsing by the day. And we can harp on the bad news, the inevitable bad news, or we can be hyper-focused on our conduct and our decision-making.
And execution.
Because that's the only thing that's going to protect us from all of this pestilence and all of this terror by night. He's telling you there will be terror by night leading up to our salvation. Terror is by night. I always say it again. Just imagine if the HEBs can't get any more product to their locations.
There will be terror by night.
There will be terror by night within a week. Think about what happens when there's a TP crisis. When there was the whole pestilence with COVID going on. There was no TP and no water. Just off a couple reports online on television about things going bad. Or when it's a weather outage. When it's about to snow in San Antonio. You can't get no bread. You got these crazy hogs taking all the gas out. The whole city collapses.
In a short period of time.
In a short period of time. So he's telling you, and I don't want to go into that. There will be a time that we go into that with more specifics. But he says, don't be afraid by that terror that will be coming into all of our homes. And the only thing that should give us solace during these terror times or terrible times is our conduct. Have we been on point? Have we been consistent? Have we been dedicated? That's our protection despite the inevitable collapsing of society. Let's continue.
Psalms 91:5 from the top. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day.
We know it's not some damn Native American arrow that's made of wood and some rock, jagged rock. This is talking about that arrow we were reading about in the book of Job. So he says, it lets you know these bombs are dropping in the daytime. So he said we can't be afraid of all the terror that leads up, all the wars, all the killing, leading up to the nuclear bombs that are dropping in all the imminent cities around the world. He says this is the thing that we have solace in, because it's about to happen. But because of our commitment daily to him protects us from the inevitable. Read on.
Verse 6. Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness.
The pestilence that walketh in darkness. There's going to be diseases. Whatever we experienced in the past, whether it was man-made or not, came from the who? The Most High.
He allowed it.
There's more pestilence that will be ramping up, whether it's man-made or not. The Most High is allowing it. He says, don't be afraid of the pestilence that walketh in darkness. Read on.
Nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday.
When it says the pestilence that walks in darkness, that means you can't see it. Just like the other pestilence, you can hear it.
It's radiation.
It was loud. It could be the radiation too. The radiation sickness, or just sickness in general.
Yeah.
Whatever after effects, that things leading up to the explosions, the side effects afterwards, we don't need to worry about that. This is why, yes, you sit back here and you stock up waters and beans and whatever. Cool. But there's only limits to what you can do.
Yeah.
Let's just sit back here. We can sit back and make an entire room full of beans and rice, no minerals, no herbs, nothing green. How long is it going to happen just with our crew? And what's going to happen when everybody here is we're eating, we're surviving? Yeah. Every half-ass Israelite from here to Pecos is going to come in here knocking on the door, one to be a part of, one to be down. Yo, I know I was tripping, brother. I know I was tripping. But I'm here now. And whatever you need, just give me some of that food over there. Yeah, everybody's going to come out with their hand out and want something. Right or wrong? I'm going to tell them no, but that's me. Listen, I'm not fronting. Well, listen. Let me stop. Listen. If you want to sit back now, God matters. We'll see.
If you couldn't love me at my worst, you can't have me at my worst. You gotta put the meaning on that.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't put that. Like that's the same spirit.
It's the same spirit. Listen, y'all better come in now. But there's a lot more signs leading up to the Big Bang. So
the real Big Bang.
The real Big Bang. So let's continue.
Come. nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction.
Let me give a clarifying answer as to why I said hell no. Because even when you sit back here and read about the wedding, right?
Yeah.
Didn't the Most High say, get your all, then come back?
Yes, sir.
That's what Christ said. Christ was showing you through that parable, you can't just sit back here, leave and do what you want to do, then come back ready to sit back here and reap the benefits, getting the blessings and getting the benefits out. You can't do it. The ones who are here, they're the ones who deserve the entire focus. We only have so much, we're going to have only so much resources to spread around. Clarifying answer. So, let's read verse 6.
Come, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness.
It could be the nuclear fallout. It could be sicknesses. It could be diseases. Whatever it is. Read on.
Nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday.
But the final destruction, he says it happens at noonday. When everything falls apart, he's telling you when it's going to happen. We don't know the date and the year and all the specifics. He says it's going to be at day and at noon. When everything falls apart. Read on.
1,000 shall fall at thy side.
That means that you're going to see thousands of deaths in front of you. You're going to see thousands fall.
That's correct.
You're going to see people just falling dropping like flies. With the deaths leading, with the pestilence and the hell leading up to the nuclear bombs. Then you're going to see thousands and millions dying when you're in the chariot watching everybody die. Read on.
Come, and 10,000 at thy right hand.
It's not like you're so badass we're just killing 10,000 by our right and left hands. No, we're seeing people fall by the wayside because they didn't serve the Most High. The Most High was not at all in their thoughts, and it should have been. Read on.
But it shall not come nigh thee.
It's not coming to you, and that's why you work so hard now. This is why you put your desires last. This is why you learn humility, discipline, sacrifice, commitment, restraint. Because that is your defense. In the Apocrypha and the Josephus, I'm not going there, but the Maccabees, Judas, he said our innocency is our defense.
Yeah.
How innocent you are, how blameless you are is your defense in these final days. And that's the truth. This is what you work for. To build a pattern of good works that you can bank on and lean on when times are lean, when tens of thousands are dying to your side, 1,000 on the other side. You're seeing death and calamity and sadness. The Most High is going to sit back here because of your dedication and be there for you. If you put the work in. Read on.
Verse 8. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked.
He said, with your eyes, you're going to see these tens of thousands falling by the wayside, and you're going to see their reward. And if you're seeing the reward of the wicked, you're also going to live to see the reward of the what?
Righteous.
The righteous. And this is what we do all of this for. Because when everything is said and done, the ones who commit themselves to the Most High are the last ones standing. Read on. So if you ever want to know why am I sacrificing like this? Why do I got to fight to keep this marriage together? Why do I have to fight to sit back and stay in order? Why do I got to follow orders? Why do I got to take this check? Why do I have to take this correction? Why do I have to deny my lust? Why do I have to deny my addictions and my flesh? This is why. So you can be standing when everything else is falling apart as evidence as to why you do it. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Read on.
Verse 9. Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation.
That's what it takes. You have to make the Most High your habitation. I mean, you have to dwell in these scriptures. Dwell in the execution of these scriptures. The Most High has got to be what brings calm and peace to you. The scriptures are supposed to distress you. Too many times, what do we use to distress? Sex, drugs, sleep, comforts, isolation, crazy venting, inordinate yelling and screaming, alcoholism. That's our refuge. But if you want to be the last one standing in Christ, he's got to be your refuge. You take this and tie it in with St. John 15. You have to abide in Christ. Then Christ will abide in you. If you can do that, you'll be one of the few standing at the end. You understand?
God.
Continue.
Verse 10. There shall no evil befall thee.
No evil is going to befall you. This is the good news. The good news is no evil will befall you because of your abstinence, because of your discipline, because of your humility, because you chose to stay spiritual when you had plenty of opportunities by the fowler to slip and to get ensnared and entangled with whatever negative you would get entangled with. This is the reward, that you get protection when it matters most. And the funny thing is, the scripture says the Most High daily loads us with benefits. So he's loading us every day with protection, and we just don't see it. And he gives us examples of protecting us day to day, leading up to the grand finale, when you really got to have this protection.
Exactly.
Continue. We just have to learn how to see how he's been looking after us and being there for us over these difficult times. We got to put the work in to see the good, to see the blessing, to see the beauty and how the Lord's operated through us and for us, as long as we abide in him, as long as we make him our refuge and our habitation. That's all he's asking. The only thing that should matter in your life is pleasing him. Read on.
There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling.
The greatest plague was the destruction of the earth, or plagues every day that we get punished for not operating the right way. Read on.
Verse 11. For he shall give his angels charge over thee.
He says he sits back here because of our obedience. He'll send angels to protect us, to look after us. If I can understand that the Most High sent an adversarial spirit in an angelic form to wipe out Balaam for his wickedness in the book of Numbers, you don't think he sent angels to protect us on a daily basis because of our obedience? It's the same concept. Read on.
For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways.
Under the condition of the Most High in Christ being our refuge and our habitation. So I want to start class off with that. When all this stuff happens and all this hell starts breaking loose, have you put the work in to earn the protection, to earn the blessing? Or have you just been playing Jew, going through the motions and not putting the works enough to earn the blessing? That's the question everybody has to ask themselves going into this next heightened level of danger and sickness that's about to hit everybody. Let that verse go and go to 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 11 and 12. Hopefully that brings some peace to you, man. Some good vibes. I don't know if it did. That's good news. That's the goodest it's gonna get.
I didn't find out when I was teaching my class. I thought it was all doom and gloom. I thought it was over. I was over 2nd Ezra 15. I was, it's over, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
I know, bro. Listen, 2nd Ezra 16 is worse.
I know.
We're gonna go into that part next week, but 16 is worse than 15.
Yeah, it was 16 that was worse.
16 is bad.
Yes, it is.
We will go into that later.
Yes, that was bad.
Somebody had a hand up?
I had a hand up, but it's okay.
Okay. Let's do 2nd Ezra 15, verse 11 and 12.
Come. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 11 reads, But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm.
So what he's saying is these individuals, Israel that cleaves to the Heavenly Father, Israel that serves the Heavenly Father in Christ, he's going to sit back here and do what? He's going to bring us out and deliver us with a mighty hand and stretched out arm. Read on.
And smite Egypt with plagues.
Listen, he said the Most High is going to protect us while simultaneously smiting Egypt. Now the question is he talking about the land of Egypt? The ancient land in Cairo? Or was it something different? Read that verse from the top.
Come. 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 11 reads, But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues.
When you sit back here, I don't have it with me. I don't think it's that important. When you sit back and find the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, Egypt means the land of bondage. That's all Egypt means. Mizraim means bondage. Egypt is the Greek word for bondage. I'm sorry. Mizraim is the Greek word for Egypt.
Yes.
And Mizraim means bondage. Yes, I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That too. It's Exodus 22 and the metaphysical. But with that being the case, we know we're reading in chapter 15 about what's happening to our people. He's going to stretch out his hand and protect us and smite present-day Egypt, the present-day country of our bondage, which is America and all of the NATO allies, which maintain the same Western dynamic and same Western political system that oppresses our people. Okay? So what's happening is Christ is going to deliver us and smite Egypt with plagues as before. That's why when we're talking about like the pestilence, how the Most High is going to sit back and protect us from the noisome pestilence and the darkness pestilence. He's saying he's going to give us pestilence and give this country pestilence like he gave Egypt pestilence in the past. That's very important to understand because it sets up a verse we're going to go into in a little bit. Hold this and read Ecclesiasticus 3 and verse 15.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 3, verse 15. Whenever you're ready.
No.
We're coming back to 12.
Yeah, we're going back to Ezra because I want to.
Ecclesiastes 3 and 15.
Yeah, Ecclesiastes 3 and 15. Let's do this. And we're going to go back to 2nd Ezra 15. Read that.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 3, verse 15.
Ecclesiastes.
Oh, Steve.
I heard Ecclesiasticus.
It might have been me being wrong. Ecclesiastes 3 and 15.
Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 15.
Read that.
That which hath been is now.
The things that had in the past, the things that happened in the past, how things happen, is the same way it's going to happen in the future. Now, the only difference in that is when you sit back and read in 2nd Ezra chapter 13, it talks about how the angels come down and destroy the nations. That has never been seen before.
That's a new thing.
And they in the scriptures specify when it's something brand new in comparison to it being the same cycle of understanding happening down the line that happened in the past. So how America gets wiped out is new. How the angels wipe out all the armies is new. How these angels be running through these mountains and snatching the elite is going to be new. But what isn't new is everything else. Okay? So read it from the top again, verse 15.
Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 15. That which hath been is now.
The things that have been, the cycles of life that have been, certain incidences that have been in the past, is the same way it happens now. That has to do with people. This is the verse we use to explain reincarnation. And it's not just the reincarnation of people, it's the reincarnation of how life happens, how things go down. Specifically, Israel being delivered from our captors or the countries that had us in bondage. This country is more of mental bondage than Egypt, but bondage is bondage. A lack of sovereignty is a lack of sovereignty. So, read verse 15 again.
Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 15. That which hath been is now, and that which is to be.
Meaning the end of times, how the end of times are going to go down, read on.
Hath already been.
It's already been. How the end of times is going to happen, it actually happened already. That the way it happens, the way Israel gets delivered, has already happened. Okay, read on.
And the Most High requireth that which is past.
The Most High requires the same way to happen again, to recycle again. When you read through Ecclesiastes 3, it tells you about how the Most High has this same, and actually chapter 1, it talks about how the Most High requires these same cycles of how life goes. We're going to go back to Ecclesiastes 1 when we get a chance. But let's go back to 2nd Ezra 15.
Come.
Verse 15, verse 11 and 12.
Come. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 11 reads from the top. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out
We
arm.
read Psalms 91 about how the Most High is going to protect us from the pestilence. He's going to deliver us and protect us with that mighty hand and stretched out arm, just like he protected us in Egypt with that mighty hand and stretched out arm when he delivered us from Egypt. Read on.
And smite Egypt with plagues as before.
So what happens is, back in the past, when we read in Exodus, as we were leaving, he took us out during the pestilence. We didn't feel the pestilence. They felt the pestilence. We were sitting back here chilling in Goshen, and they were suffering. Now, how the Lord's going to do that in these cities and states that are intermingled and mixed, and it's going to be different. I don't know how that's going to happen. But the concept is the same. The ones that the Most High chose are going to be protected, and the ones who aren't are going to catch hell. Okay? So, read on.
And will bring Salakia, and will destroy all the land thereof.
So the Most High, once these plagues go through, he's going to deliver us out of these cities. Then the significant plagues come in to destroy. Read on.
Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten.
He's saying the foundation of Egypt, the foundation of Babylon, the foundation of modern day Edom, the Edomite Empire, the beast, is going to fall. But as it's falling, he's going to be delivering us. And how it goes down is exactly how it went down in Egypt. The point I'm driving here, I'm kind of trying to foreshadow what's going to happen. The same way we were delivered, we're going to get delivered the same way when we get back out of America or these sojourning countries that are around us, whether it's in Canada, whether it's in Europe. We're going to get delivered from these countries and gathered and dealt with. Okay? What you going to say?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So read on verse 12 again.
Come. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague, and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it.
So now you understand kind of why I went to Psalms 91. We got to give some good before all this scary stuff happens. Listen, he's like, this whole place is falling apart. It will be destroyed. It will be burnt. There's going to be murder, death, kill everywhere. I'll never remember that murder, death, kill. That was, yeah. Anyway, you get the point. So all that's going to happen while he simultaneously protects us. Let that go and go to Jeremiah chapter 16. You type it in. Jeremiah 16, verse 14 and 15. This is another verse to prove how he's using our deliverance in the future and tying it in with the story of Israel being delivered out of Egypt.
So that is the template. The Most High has a format. He has a template on how he's going to destroy the society. He's done this multiple times.
Mm-hmm. We've
had multiple deliverances. It's not our first deliverance.
And he wants us to be delivered the same way we were delivered in our nativity.
Exactly.
There's a sense of irony in the Heavenly Father and poeticism, where he wants to sit back and see it happen the way he had it scripted out in the first place. Because don't forget, we were supposed to do it right the first time, but we screwed it up. But he's sitting back here giving us a second chance to right the wrongs that we did in our inception as a nation.
It's evidence of the Lord's mercy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, listen, I'm giving you a third chance.
Yep.
I'm giving you a fourth chance.
To do what I wanted you to do a long time ago.
I'm going to save you the same way like I saved you from the beginning. This is an opportunity.
Yep.
I got this branch out here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shedding blood for you because I'm a jealous power, and I want you to be my chosen.
And I want you to see, I want all of my children to see the reward for sin. I want the rest of the world to see this is what you get when you love sin. Now I'm going to sit back here and take you out of this sinful kingdom and give you a chance to prove to me how much you hate sin.
We've seen it with the Babylonians.
Yeah.
We've seen it with the Romans.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it with the Persians.
The rest of the world had an opportunity. Don't forget, our fall ended up being salvation to the nations. Every nation had an opportunity to gain power and sovereignty, and they all messed it up. And they all broke the law. They all sinned. So now it's time for us to sit back here and retake over our position to save our people and the people that want to follow the Most High. Let's continue.
Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt.
So he's like this: the times are coming that people are going to forget the first time we got delivered. Read on.
Verse 15. But the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the
The
north.
land of the north is talking about America. But it's we're going to get delivered in this land of the north the same way we were delivered from Egypt. So what's going to happen, people are going to remember this new salvation better than the first salvation. Read on.
Middle of 15. And from all the lands whither he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers.
And he's going to bring us back into the land that he gave our fathers. Okay? Hold that or let that go. And go to Matthew chapter 24, verse 29 through 31.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 29.
Read that, sir.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light.
So now we get whether it's the sun is darkened, the moon's not giving their light. It's talking about those nuclear bombs, and the next verse is, or the next line is going to say it. Read on.
And the stars shall fall from heaven.
The stars shall fall. There's these nuclear bombs that look like stars that are up in the air, and they drop, and all the dust and the nuclear fallout, and the clouds will be covered, the sun will be covered, the moon will be covered from the thermonuclear fallout. Okay, read on.
And the powers of the heavens shall be shaken.
The earth is going to be shaken. The foundations of the earth are going to be shaken because of the amount of stars. They're going to be dropping simultaneously. Read on.
Verse 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man.
So as these bombs are dropping, then we're going to be, Christ is coming back as the bombs are in the air. And when we sit back here and see Christ, we're going to see all these nukes in the air, in flight. Everybody's pushing a button. The elites are going to be underground. And everybody else is just, SHIT out of luck. But that's when Christ is going to sit back here and establish salvation. Like I said, the last few weeks have been very clear with this process. Read on.
And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn.
When Christ comes, the rest of the nations and the people of these nations are going to mourn because Christ is going to sit back and deliver us and his chosen. And he's going to sit back here simultaneously. Certain angels deliver us. Certain angels go to war with these armies. Others go and get the elites.
And there's a reality that sets in also.
And other reapers take the wicked and send them to America to burn. If you're not in America, he will take you if you're wicked enough to burn in America. Those are the different ways the angels will sit back and execute judgment at the end. What you gonna say?
No, all the holograms and the lies and the false ideals and false perspectives and the hopes and dreams and wishes of people, once that sky cracks and Christ and the angels there, whatever hope you had, dream you had, future idea you want to do, some kind of concept, you have these plans up, it's over.
Well, it should have been over before. And by the time you see Christ come out the sky, you say, I think I want to stop doing drugs. Shit, I think it's over. How about that? I think it's over at that time.
There's no more opportunity.
So my point is, we need to sit back here and let go of our wicked ways before that time. And when he comes out, it's game over. The bombs are in the air.
But
The decision is made.
that's why the tribes of the earth will mourn.
Yeah, because he's going to war. Don't forget those tribes for the first part. All these 18, 20, 25-year-old soldiers, they're going to get mowed down. Millions going to be dead just off the war. That's going to happen when Christ and the angels
The
come
last
back.
war.
And then there's going to be, the fallout is going to be even scarier. Okay? So, let's continue.
And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet.
He's going to give his angels orders. Read on.
And they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other.
He's going to sit back here and get his angels to come pick up the elect that are chosen for the next phase of his plans to be dealt with. Let that verse go and go to Judges chapter 5, verse 11. Yes, sir?
Oh, so the sign of Christ coming is him coming in the clouds
Yeah.
or church?
The clouds with the chariots. Exactly. So, Judges chapter 5, verse 11.
Judges chapter 5 and verse 11. They that are delivered from the noise of archers.
When have you did you guys see the Olympics this year when the archery competition was going on? It's like these badass like South Koreans always win out. There's just one guy that's like, this guy's like 270, bro. He just knocking out. He's douche, douche, douche. And his heart rate's all badass. Like he's drinking coffee, bro. And he's just knocking down and excelling and being really good at archers. But when I saw it, these archers made no noise. It's so, what does it mean by noise of archers? The noise of archers is the bombs that are going to be dropping. These bombs that look like arrows. I'm just bringing back the figurative language so we can all tie in the message. Okay? Read verse 5 and 11. Chapter 5, verse 11 again.
Judges chapter 5 and verse 11. They that are delivered from the noise of archers in the places of drawing water.
The places of drawing water, somewhat the places of drawing philosophies. The places of drawing ideologies and belief systems and different type of wisdom. Okay? He says, those people are going to be delivered out of this places of drawing water, America. Read on.
There shall they rehearse the righteous acts.
The ones who actually got delivered from the noise of the archers got delivered because they rehearsed the righteous acts in these countries of drawing waters and were consumed with the different waters and philosophies that were presented. You read in Proverbs, Scripture says we're supposed to sit back here and stick with the waters of our own what?
Cistern.
Our own cistern. So we're supposed to drink of the water of our own cistern. We're supposed to stick to our own belief system, our own knowledge, our own understanding. But this country is full of different understandings and different beliefs and different ideologies. So he says the ones that stick to their culture and reestablish themselves with the Most High in Christ, they get delivered from the noise of the thermonuclear destruction. Read on.
It says, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Most High, even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of his villages in Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Then shall the people of the Most High go down to the gates.
Then we'll go down to the gates and eventually get delivered. Let this verse go. And now go to 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 16 through 18. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 16 through 18.
First Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 16.
So I'm still giving like a prelude to the purging, but it's important that I explain this properly before we move forward. So read that.
For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout.
Now we know when Christ comes down, he's going to be coming down with a shout, yelling. That means he's coming to war. Read on.
With the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of the Most High.
So when Christ comes down, what's going to happen first? Read on.
And the dead in Christ shall rise first.
So before the individuals who are sitting back here sweating bullets, scared as hell, hoping they might get chosen, the ones who died get risen first. The ones who died get risen first. Then the ones who were chosen on earth, they get delivered also. Okay, read on.
Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds.
In the chariots. And we'll get picked up in the chariots with the ones who died or who were martyred for the Most High in Christ. Or who lived the righteous life will get picked up. Okay? So think about that when you're thinking about 1/3 of Israel. 1/3 of Israel is not that big if the dead in Christ get picked up first. If you're sitting back here thinking about 1/3 of the entire nation of Israel now, that's easy. That's easier. Your options are a little better. When you're sitting back here thinking about the 1/3 of beginning, and the ones who did right, that they get first. Whatever little Rudy Poot scraps is left, you better hope you with the Rudy Poot clique, the last scragglers that made it. It's the truth, right? The 1/3, the ones who live right, they get in. Who died for the Most High? There's a lot of great people that love the Most High and put the Most High first their entire life that will get in. And then whoever's left that still is trying to hang on, they get in also. Am I doing this to scare people? To be the Bible boogeyman? No. But it's important to realize, just because we're wearing vests and fringes and sisters are wearing garments and dresses and they know Yahweh Shema Thabah Hashem Yahshai, doesn't guarantee anything. We have a shot. And a shot's better than no shot. We better sit back and fight to secure that spot. So the dead in Christ are rising first, then the ones who are living. Read on.
Verse 17. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Lord.
And will forever be with the Lord. Read on.
Wherefore, comfort one another with these words.
Just like we were trying to comfort in Psalm 91, we have to sit back here and mix in reality and scariness with comfort too. Give it all you got is the lesson and the moral of the story. Don't play around with if you want to do this, if you don't want to do this, I'm not sure. I'm going to put my pinky toe in the water and see if it's warm enough for me to jump in. Take it serious.
Well, and this is why Paul said, let your calling and election be sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because
sure to who?
To the Most High.
Well, to you too. You got to be sure what you're going to do.
Exactly. Because you don't know what level of output of energy or sacrifice or commitment that will warrant you getting to the kingdom.
God?
You might do good works, but what were you expected to do in this entire life? That's what you're judging on. You're judging what you were expected to output, not what you think is good enough, or not what you're comparing yourself around other Israelites.
And that's another thing. We'll sit back and see people around and say, man, I got this person beat. I'll be all right. If this person makes it, I'll make it. I ain't worried about it. You can't sit back here and measure, if you more on point with 2/3 of the group in a congregation.
Or it was a fashion contest. I wore the dopest fringes. He's going for conduct.
He wants conduct. So
because like you're saying, like in Ezekiel talks about how his name be among many small congregations. There's many small congregations that are doing the right things.
That are trying.
That haven't bowed the knee. From the beginning, the Most High had a reserved set of people that hadn't bowed the knee. That hasn't bowed the knee to Baal. From the very beginning.
So we have a small window.
Okay.
We're going to read about the small window in a little bit. We're going to read about the small window that's going to get lifted up and taken. Okay? But there will be Israelites with fringes that don't get picked up. How about that? Just because you got stringy clothes on, man, don't mean you get to the kingdom, man. You get headbands. I mean, head wraps. Okay, let's let that go. But these are comforting words, though. Go to Daniel chapter 12, verse 1 and 2. Daniel chapter 12, verse 1 and 2. Can you put it in there?
Okay. I found looking for it.
Daniel 12, verse 1 and 2.
Come. Daniel chapter 12 and verse 1 reads, And at that time shall Michael stand up, and the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people.
So what it's telling you is Michael, his job is to look after Israel. Esau would say guardian angel. Michael is our guardian angel. And his job is to look after the nation of Israel. Read on. And fight for us. Read on.
And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation even to that same time.
So he says the time that the tribulation we're about to face haven't ever been this bad from the beginning of time. So you see, it lets you know when things are different than when it used to be. But he says everybody's going to be feeling the pinch leading up to Christ coming back and Michael advocating for us. Okay, read on.
And at that time, thy people shall be delivered.
He said, and at that time when things are at its worst and the entire world is suffering, that's when we're going to be delivered. Read on.
Every one that shall be found written in the book.
You see how it's all written a little bit different, but it's all saying the same thing? And here, with the ones that were written in the book of life are going to be the ones that get saved. But the other ones, the ones who cleave to the Lord. The ones who sat back here and loved the Lord. There's just a bunch of different ways to express the same thing. Okay? Read on.
Come, verse 2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth.
He says, many of the ones who sleep in the dust of the earth, read on,
shall awake.
Mm-hmm.
Some to everlasting life, and some to shame, and everlasting contempt.
Scary thing, and I went to this part last, because everybody that's woken up from the dead ain't waking up the dead to get saved. Listen, it says the dead in Christ shall rise first, and the dead in Christ will die with everybody else too.
Die again?
Yes. That's scary as hell.
It's called the second death.
No, that's not the second death. That's not the second death.
The spirit does?
No. There's a in Revelation there's a second death, and that's different than this second death. Okay. But there is second death. I want to clarify that, because when you read second death in Revelation, that's not what this is talking about. But this hypothetically or technically would be a second death if you're already dead and you're coming back and you're regenerated just to die again and burn forever. That kind of stinks. Let me finish this verse and then we'll go do it again. Read verse 2.
Come, verse 2 again from the top. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt.
And that's the scary part, though. Some are going to come back and thinking they get picked up and get a win, and you get revived from the dead just to die again. And then you're gonna die, and you're gonna be dead in pain. You're gonna be dead and still suffer pain.
Yeah.
That's a double whammy. So it just lets you know, just because you get risen back up, it's the illusion. Whether I die and get regenerated, I'm gonna make it. No, and just because you're getting these chariots, don't mean you're gonna make it either. This is just another phase of salvation. So we had to go so many weeks into breaking all this down. Okay, it's not just some. You live in, you're sending prayers and you're eating your vitamins, and all of a sudden the Most High picks you up and you get regenerated and everything's good. It's not that way. This is a constant life of proving and showing and dedicating and reproving yourself. The ones who are comfortable with the uncomfortable and comfortable, it's the funny thing is this: it's not reproving and proving and proving and reproving yourself if you love doing it. And this is what the Most High is trying to see. Do you love serving me? If you love serving me, then this isn't work. It's only a constant test of being proven and testing and testing and testing if it's a drag to do it. And everything that we're going through and rehearsing the righteous acts shouldn't be a burden. If it's a burden, you won't make it anyway. So find joy in the testing. Find joy in the rehearsing of the righteous acts. And it'll be easy to rehearse the righteous acts when it really counts after we get delivered. Okay. Let that verse go and go to 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10 through 18. Because all these different chapters are saying the same thing with a little different spin on each topic. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10.
2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10. It says, "But the day of the Most High will come as a thief in the night."
So the funny thing is, somehow there's going to be great tribulation, and still the end's going to be like a thief in the night. How the hell that's going to happen, I don't know how. One theory, and this is a theory, you see catastrophes and famines and death and war all around the world. The only place you really haven't seen it and felt it is in the United States, in the Western countries. It's a very high probability. If you sit back, if you went to Palestine right now, you think they don't think it's the apocalypse, huh? People in Palestine think it's the damn apocalypse.
It definitely is for them.
That's what I'm saying. So that means it's the apocalypse is here. Just because it ain't hit, Brotherville, USA, don't mean it ain't hit the world yet. I want to say another word. I'm not going to say another word.
It's simultaneous dynamics happening at the same time. There's food shortages here. There's riots over here.
People are dealing with famine right now. People in Pakistan are starving. People around the world are starving.
These are dynamics going on worldwide.
You think people in Ham got baskets full of food at?
No, they don't.
There is starvation across the world, so things are already bad. So there can be suffering at the level that's never hit the entire world and simultaneously catch people off guard that aren't feeling the effects of the suffering yet. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Because they both have to be true. It's got to be so bad that the hell is beyond where anybody's experienced, and at the same time, a certain group of people are protected and isolated, and all of a sudden, the bombs are here, Christ comes back, and there's no time.
They're just shopping.
Huh?
While people are just shopping and they're scrolling,
Yep.
other people are starving.
It's just like in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Listen, 600,000 people are dead in 2 years.
The club's still open.
Well,
The club is
some
open
parts,
over there.
yeah.
in some parts, but
But there's a dynamic.
But what I'm trying to say is, we don't even feel that.
Yeah.
In Ukraine, they feel it. In Ukraine,
So
once this winter kicks in, they're not going to have any energy.
Yeah.
They might sit back here and literally go old school and cut wood and burn wood in these stoves to keep them warm. That is how bad it's going to get. And Ukraine be going into below degree temperatures. It'd be freezing. What am I trying to say? However bad it is in Ukraine, we don't even feel that.
No.
We are chilling and smiling. We don't feel what's happening in Palestine. We don't feel what's happening in Lebanon. They're getting bombed on right now.
Yeah.
We don't feel what's happening with Ham that can barely sustain themselves and are dealing with pestilences every day. There's this cobalt mine or a lithium mine that's over there, and they said they're near this lithium and they're getting sick because they're near these toxic chemicals.
Yeah, heavy metals.
Yes. And they got to thug it out because they ain't got no other places to go. So there's pestilences simultaneous to ease and comfort in certain parts of the world.
Correct.
Continue. So read verse 10 again from the top.
It says, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise."
So the heavens are going to pass away with a great noise, that noisome pestilence we read about in Psalms 91, right?
Come.
Read on.
"And the elements shall melt with fervent heat."
Do I have a picture of that? I know I got a picture of that. Nope. Give me 1 second. Come on, Omar. I wasn't prepared for this, but I thought I was. The heavens shall melt with fervent heat. Give me 1 second. I'm going to find it. It shouldn't take too long. I hope I don't have it just on the other computer. But I think I just have it on the other computer.
That's great.
Huh? Yeah, I know what you saw. You can't help but see it. That was a crazy class, right? Yeah. We'll be ready to go into those Maccabees again, so it's coming again. Yep, saw it again. It's not here, but I wasn't ready for it. But there's an image of like how that thermonuclear reaction actually looks. If you guys ever watched Terminator, when Ogre had the vision of like the bomb being destroyed, and then she's holding on. She's holding on to the fence at the park, watching the children play. The bombs drop. You see the big light and explosion, and all of a sudden this heat wave just blows through, and your body, you have skin, and you look up. Now you're just bones, and you're just charred bones, and your body is still held onto the fence. That's what the picture I want to show. But read verse 10 again to just kind of explain the effect.
Verse 10. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10. For the day of the Most High will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise.
The heavens is the elements. The elements are going to pass away with a great noise, because when this bomb hits, trees, birds, animals, livelihood, earth is just going to be just wiped out and disintegrated. Read on.
And elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Elements including people, metal, wood, steel. Doesn't matter.
Gas, no matter what
it does. It's all going to melt.
It's such a. It's atomical heat.
Mm-hmm.
It's heat on atomical level.
Time.
It's breaking atoms.
Time. So everything's going to get wiped out. Mm-hmm. Read on.
It says the earth also, and the works that are therein shall be burned up.
The reason why the Most High wants the heat to be the way that it goes down. Whoa. The Most High allowed the water to destroy earth the first time with the flood. Now he's going to use fire to burn up the works. The wicked works, the evil works, is why the Most High is fed up with this country and all the adjoining countries that fit into this Babylonian approach. Yes?
It says a nuclear explosion can get up to 100 million degrees Celsius, or at least 4 to 5 times hotter than the center of the sun.
Bro, nobody's escaping that who the Most High doesn't want to escape it. And that's with thousands of bombs dropped. Everybody's nuclear arsenal is unloading on the United States. So bad the United States, we read about the Revelation, that this country splits up in 3 parts. How much shaking and destruction has to happen for this place to be split up into 3 islands? So, with that being the case, the purpose of the thermonuclear destruction is to burn up America's works, to destroy this wicked country and system, so the people can get retaught how to love the Most High again. Read on, verse 11.
Verse 11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved.
The actual physical structures and buildings, but the systems and the way of life has to be destroyed. Read on.
What manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godly?
This is what Peter said. You better sit back here and get back to living right, operating right, communicating right, operating godly.
The things we counsel about.
Are you going to sit back here? He's saying in his way, this whole world's going to be destroyed. You going to still be tripping about how you were talked to? You going to still be caught in your lust? You going to still be caught with your negative outlook? You still want to fix? You still want to drink? You still want to be bitter and be isolated?
Still mad?
You still want to be angry? And have a crappy outlook towards your life and the Father? When everything's going to be destroyed because he hates everything about this place? Half the reason why we're angry is because we want more of this place than we're allowed to get.
Yeah.
That's why mankind is angry. We want more of what this country has to offer. And we're bitter because we don't have as much as we think we deserve. When in actuality, we should be coming out of this place and being okay with what the Lord's given us. So Peter's like, you better work on your outlook or you're going to be part of that dissolve crew that's coming to a theater near you. And we got rhyming out here now.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to do that. That was corny. Let's keep going.
Verse 12.
That was a bad rhyme. Right on.
It says, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High.
But on the flip side, we should be looking forward to the day that this place is over. In order to look forward to the day of the Lord, we better sit back here and work fast to fix what's inside of us to be prepared for this day. Read on.
Wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Exactly. So we see, what's that?
The elements will melt with fervent heat. Can I pull
Yeah.
Psalms 97 and verse 5. Psalms 97 and verse 5.
Psalms
Through
chapter
7.
97, verse 5.
Through
Through
7.
Through 7. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Go to verse
Psalms
4.
chapter 97,
Go to
verse
verse 4.
5.
Matter of
Verse
fact, go to
4.
verse 3.
Verse 3. Now,
We'll do that.
Psalms chapter 97, verse 3.
Uh-huh.
Sleep on this
You
one.
ready? A fire goeth before him.
A fire go before him. The fire's coming down first.
What verse is this?
This is Psalms 97,
97 and 3.
verse 3.
Okay, cool.
The whole thing breaks it down, but keep it short. The fire go before him. The nuclear destructions happen. Every imminent city is getting destroyed by these arrows that the Most High is going to drop on the earth. Read.
A fire goeth before him and burneth up his enemies round about.
The enemies are the nations, and the enemies are Israelites that don't want to change. That's the scripture.
Mm-hmm.
Bring them before me that I may slay them.
Yep.
As soon as I know the law.
Yeah, we'll go on that later.
Read.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 4. His lightnings enlightened the world.
All power. He's shooting, these chariots are shooting lightning like the war went through in the chariots class. Read.
The earth saw and trembled.
All the tribes of the earth mourned, and they were trembling within, and the literal earth is trembling because of the impact of the nuclear destruction. Read.
The hills melted like wax.
Elements burning with fervent heat means physical hills will melt like wax. And on a on a metaphorical level, the hills being the nations, they're going to melt like wax also. It's physical and it's metaphorical. Read.
At the presence of the Lord.
When Christ comes back. Read.
At the presence of the Lord of the whole earth.
The whole earth's going to see this, feel this, and watch this. And all these hills will be brought down even because of destruction. Read.
Verse 6. The heavens declare his righteousness.
You're going to see the Most High is correct when you see the chariots. You're going to know who was right.
And you'll know who the wicked are.
You're going to know who was right. You're going to know who was wrong. When the chariots come out.
Mm-hmm.
You see the angels. And Christ. Read.
And all the people see his glory.
Not him all weak and coming down, get ripped up and beaten. You're going to see Christ in the spirit of fury. The fury of the Lamb. Read.
Verse 7. Confounded be all they that serve graven images.
And all people that are serving graven images and ideas and images and fiction and following narratives and false concepts and give themselves to lies. These are graven images in modern times. Read.
That boast themselves of idols.
That find pride identifying and trying to be like these celebrities in these different kind of nations. Read.
Worship him, all ye gods.
Listen, you better worship the Most High, bro. Because everybody's going to be confounded and destroyed. Second point, on the melting element, Ezekiel 22 verse 20. Ezekiel 22 and verse 20. So elements themselves are melting with fervent heat. Physical mountains and hills are melting from the fervent heat. No more Appalachian Mountains, no more Sandia Mountains. That's getting melted. All right? And enemies are getting melted too. Let's read this.
Ezekiel chapter 22 and verse 20.
Uh-huh.
As they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of the furnace.
He's giving you a visual. The same way you melt these metals into a furnace. Read.
To blow the fire upon it.
Read.
To melt it. So will I gather you in mine anger and in my fury. And I will leave you there and melt you.
So he's melting elements. He's melting hills and mountains. And he's literally melting people that are adversarial to his cause. His holy cause.
Con? You good with that?
That's it.
Give me one you got. Revelations.
Oh, Revelation 16 and verse 9.
There's a lot of verses about melting, yo. There's a reason. A lot of prophets talking about melting and burning and death and change. Let's keep going. I don't know where they get this book of prosperity that these preachers be talking about.
Good times coming.
How the hell is Jeff Osteen, Joe Osteen? What kind of verses he pulling out to pull out this good stuff? I read a book of a lot of stress, a lot of wickedness going on. I do not read about all this good news. Anyway, I'm sorry. We ain't reading the same book, I guess.
You got the NIV. You got the NIV.
Brother, something. Revelation 16 and 9, right?
Yeah.
Revelation chapter 16 and verse 9.
Or verse 8.
8. And the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. And men were scorched with great heat, and blasphemed the name of the Most High.
Men were scorched.
The Most High will make the sun so hot to where men are going to still talk more negative about the Most High, knowing that influence, that power is coming from God. It's going to be a godly heat. Now they talk about on the news how there's godly natural disasters on a what's the wording they use? The natural disaster on a godly
biblical
on a biblical scale, biblical
scale.
Of biblical proportions.
Yeah,
they said the heat's going to be of biblical proportions right now. It's 140 degrees, 160 degrees.
They would have blamed it on global warming. It ain't global warming.
God did.
After a while, look, you can't blame global warming anymore. It's 200 degrees Celsius outside, and things is burning up on spot. Streets is burning up. Streets is melting in front of you.
That's the block is hot. That's the block being hot.
The block is hot.
Not this New Orleans stuff. 500 degrees out. No, this is a million degrees. How about that?
Bro, that's crazy.
You'll be on your knees.
500 degrees.
You're burning, begging, please.
God, you got more than that?
Yeah, I'm saying you got heat coming from the nukes. Yeah, heat coming from the sun out. Yeah, heat coming from angels out. Everything's catching on fire from all angles out. There's no escape. That means them guys on the ground is getting burned up too. The guy on the ground is getting hot on the ground too. Keep reading.
Golly.
And men were scorched with great heat.
My brother's tripping. I'm trying to hear all that. Okay.
And blasphemed the name of the Most High, which have power over these plagues, and they repented not to give him glory.
And it just shows you that there's still people out there that will see all these plagues, have their entire life fall apart, their entire civilization, and they still won't repent. They still won't give their mind to the Most High. They still can't get past how they feel.
Wow.
Why my circumstance is the way it is. There's people being literally living in hell, burning in hell, and still not repent to the Most High.
And that for those guys, that's when the Most High sits back here and has heaven, or he has the death afterwards.
Yeah.
He's waiting for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
He's a special God for you guys.
Listen, he got something for everybody. He's got something for everybody, unfortunately. Well, fortunately. So let's get back to 2 Peter's chapter 3 and verse 11.
2 Peter chapter 3, verse 11.
Read it.
Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversations and godliness?
He said, we better sit back here and talk about these scriptures. Versus sitting back here and trip on it. This is it. Listen, if you don't want to talk about the scriptures, you gonna have this guy. You gonna look like this guy. This really a lady, but how would you know? How would you know?
What's even crazier is it'd be so hot there ain't gonna be no skeletons.
I know that.
It'd be ash.
But this is a great visual.
It is great.
This is a great visual. If you look online, you'll see what in half of a visual how the purging really gonna look. How this not the purging, but the fire from the thermonuclear church is gonna look. And how just an idea of the magnitude of what happens if we just want to live the life we want to live. Okay? Read verse 12.
Verse 12. It says, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
The elements shall melt with fervent heat, including yourself. Read on.
Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, looking for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness.
Listen, but reality, we're doing all this sacrifice So we can get a new heaven and a new earth. So we can sit back here and be the originators or the foundation of this new heaven and new earth, because that's what this is all about. Once the bombs have dropped, once all these nations have been wiped out, now he's got to set the foundation to be the leaders of this new heaven and new earth. Okay? And this is what the purging is going to, the next phase of purging is for, is to make sure we will be the leaders that we were meant to be from the first time in Egypt. Okay? Read on.
Verse 14. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent, that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot, and blameless.
He said we got to make sure that by the time these bombs hit, we're blameless, without a spot. We got to make sure we're blameless, without a spot, if we want to have better odds of being saved. Read on.
Verse 15. It says, and account that the long suffering of our Lord is salvation.
What he's saying is, and understand that how well we suffer, how well we endure, is how we obtain salvation. We're always asking, why, Lord? Why am I going through this? Why am I going through that? Why am I suffering? Why is my life difficult? The answer is right here. How well we suffer, how well we endure, how well we maintain a pure outlook through difficult times equals our salvation. How we handle the ups and downs and the losses and the challenges determine if we're worthy of the kingdom. That should be your why right there. Read on.
Even as our beloved brother Paul, also according to the wisdom given unto him, hath written unto you.
Now Peter's like, listen, man, this is why Paul and what he's been writing is so important. Because what Paul is teaching helps us learn how to be blameless and without spot. Read on.
Verse 16. As also in all his epistles,
all of Paul's writings, read on,
speaking in them of these things, in which are some things.
He said in all of Paul's writings, Paul is teaching you how to equip, to give you the thinking and the mindset necessary to obtain salvation. This is what Paul is. This is what Peter is saying about Paul. He's giving you what you need to sit back here. He says also in all his epistles, speaking in these epistles, them of these things in which are in which read on. Yeah, read the in which part.
It says in which are some things hard to be understood.
He says the way Paul teaches is challenging to understand.
Which means it's not going to be just the 613 established commandments. It's going to be information on top of that, giving clarity to the 613 commandments, but mainly Christ.
And that's the thing. People get twisted up on how to understand and interpret Paul. And a lot of times they sit back here and think that what Paul is teaching is completely opposite of what the law is. But all Paul has done is give us a clarification and a greater understanding of what the law was about in the first place.
And this is from the mouth of Peter, who dealt with the Jews directly.
Mm-hmm.
So people can't say, oh man, this Paul tripping. Peter said the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm. Let's continue.
It says, which they that are unlearned and unstable rest.
A lot of unlearned, a lot of unlearned, unstable. Well, I didn't want to go to unstable. Unlearned, untaught. A lot of men come up in the ranks without teachers, without leaders, without mentors, and don't have any understanding of what these scriptures are. And they start sitting back here and rolling like they know something about these scriptures, but they really don't. Okay? So it's a lot of unlearned and unstudied people make these determinations about Paul. I've seen a lot of teachers just discount Paul, talk about Paul, say Paul was negative, it was wicked, he wasn't about the Most High in the scriptures. I've seen a lot of Israelites trash Paul. When I see Israelites trash Paul, it reminds me, lets me know these guys don't even know the Bible. They're really amateurs. You're going to sit back here and trash him because you really don't know what the hell you're talking about. If you understand the book, you can see how it all comes together.
Yeah.
If you really study. Everybody will pull the scripture where it says the Most High comes in the volume of the book, but can you prove it? Can you see how the things he's saying actually was talked about in the Old Testament, just with a heightened understanding behind it? Anyway, this is what Peter is saying about Paul. But he says a lot of people better unlearn rest or wrestle with the understanding because it doesn't fit in their mind that Moses narrative that's been stuck down our throats. So read on.
As it says, as they do also the other scriptures, unto their own destruction.
And that means you don't understand the law of Moses in the first place.
Yeah, and the scary thing is, if you can't understand Paul, it's at your detriment. Because what Paul is teaching gives you that greater understanding of Christ. And he helps piece together everything else Christ was trying to teach and what his message was. And if you don't understand Christ and Paul, and you just holding on to the Old Testament, you're going to be lacking tremendously. Well, let's continue.
Verse 17. Ye therefore, beloved, seeing ye know these things before, beware, lest ye also, being led away with the error of the wicked, fall from your own steadfast.
So he's like, you better sit back here and learn the volume of the book, learn Christ, learn Paul, learn everything, or you're going to fall off and be disconnected and be subject to this fire. It was still about that fervent heat that's coming. Okay? Are we done with verse 17? Let that go. And go to Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8 and 9. I don't want the rest of Zechariah because there's more later on. Where am I going? Let's see. Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8 and 9. I got it. Yeah. Zechariah 13, verse 8 and 9.
Come on, Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, two parts therein shall be cut off and die.
So two parts are going to be living a life, do what they want to do, not understand the book and error in their understanding of the book, or just not be about serving the Most High. 2/3 of obviously 3/3 of our nation is going to die. That's a large number that ain't making it. Read on.
But the third shall be left therein.
The third is going to be left and saved. Left is a better way to explain it than saved. Because when it says a third is going to be left,
You're not saved.
you're still not saved. You're just left. Left to go to the next phase. It's like that. What was that damn Korean movie?
Squid Games.
It's Squid Games. I don't want to act like I don't want to say that the apocalypse is like Squid Games, but it's a great way to
It's
explain
multiple
it.
phases of a dynamic of a dynamic.
It's another level.
Yeah.
It's another level you got to pass at. So this is what's happening. After the 2/3 die, the 1/3 is left to survive and advance. And keep working on what's inside of you. It gives you more time. What this 1/3 versus 2/3 scenario does, it gives you more time to prove yourself. How about that? It gives you more time to prove your sincerity and your love towards the Heavenly Father. Because this is what's still going to be tested. Women and men. This is not just men. 1/3 of the entire nation is going to be saved.
And it's good to emphasize because you say, "Oh, my husband. I'm gonna get there off my husband." Well, you better believe for yourself. You better believe for you.
Yep.
You better study for you. You better believe for you. You better attend class, learn the book for you.
While serving your husband.
While serving your husband.
Simultaneously.
You better make these changes for your spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Because Lot was righteous. Wife didn't make it.
Yeah.
That's the Bible.
So, let's continue. So give me verse 9.
Come. Zechariah 13 and 9. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined.
So after they're left, they get protected and saved from the fire. Then the Lord is going to sit back and start refining us like silver is refined. He's going to start working and dealing with us, purging us, working on that negative in us. Because when you're refining any metal, what are you doing? You heat the surface hot enough for the impurities of the metal to rise.
Yeah.
The goal is you need to heat the metal hot enough to separate the actual metal from the impurities that is clinged on to the metal. And that process is how you save or protect and develop that actual necklace and chain. Okay? Read that part again. Verse 9.
Zechariah 13
Bye,
9.
buddy. Read verse 9.
And I will bring the third part through the fire and will refine them as silver is refined.
So once that third is brought out the fire, he's going to put us back into more fire. Spiritual fire this way, though. He's taking us out of the fiery punishment and he's going to sit back here and bring us into a refining process that purges the filth out of us anyway. That makes sense? Read on.
And I will try them as gold is tried.
He's going to try us like gold is tried in a furnace of what? Affliction. We're going to be afflicted in order to see if we have what it takes to actually get the final reward for our works. Why is it important to explain this? Because we don't hear it a lot in classes, one. But two, we have to have the right mindset getting to the end to know that there's more left to prove to the Most High before we get the greatest reward. Before we're rewarded with palms, like you read in 2 Ezra chapter 2. Okay? Read on.
They shall call on my name, and I will hear them.
What does that mean when he says, when they're getting refined, when they're getting tried, they're going to call on the Most High's name? What does that mean? What do you think that means?
That process for those individuals, so intense.
Hopefully it's us, right? Say us. Say us, man. Don't say for them, man.
So it's, you know what I mean?
I know. I'm saying we got to be positive, man. For those guys, those righteous guys, not me. Those other guys, they're going to make it. We got to sit back and talk like it's us, man. Okay.
It's going to, what they're going to be going through.
They are us. What we?
People,
it's not the people, it's us.
We're a part of it. The group that we're a part of, that we're striving to be a part of, us, is going to be it's going to get so intense, that fire, that trial, that tribulation is going to get, and affliction is going to get so intense, we're not going to be able to help it to call out to the Most High.
The conditions, the conditions are going to be set where you can't depend on you and rely on you. Because what kills us is we want to do things our way.
Self-reliance.
We want to sit back here and have control over every part of our life. The conditions are going to be so where we have to call out to Him. That in itself is humbling. It's going to break a lot of men. Or women. Most people want to sit back here and be independent and work on their own will, their own time frame, their own schedule. We're going to be on the Most High's clock. And we're going to have to learn how to operate on His clock and His time. Christ, not the Most High, Christ. We have to operate on His time and His clock. And as we know already, we're supposed to be rehearsing the righteous acts. If you haven't learned it now yet, His time is way later than our time and our clock. Our clock is fast as hell. His clock is slower. So when we get out in this wilderness, we need to learn how to slow our clock down and learn to wait on the Lord. If you want to sustain and get through and get rewarded, part of the trying is how well we learn to wait. That makes sense?
Like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the fire.
Well, I'm going to say no. I'm talking about waiting on the Lord. Waiting until the Most High rewards you. And having a pure outlook while we're waiting. That's everything. Let's read it from the top. Verse 9. Who had a hand? Okay.
Because as discouraging as it could be, the bombs dropping, the Lord.
That's why I said it was Psalms 91, man. We got to be positive, man.
Well, I'm just saying, because this is how we eventually get to the wilderness. You know,
yes.
He picked up His people. We find ourselves alive.
Yep.
And it's very important that we keep
A stable.
a mindset.
Yes.
To whereas, okay, we're still in the game.
Hell yeah.
It isn't over.
That's my point. There's a lot of Israel gonna think it's over, man.
Yeah.
Woo! I dodged that bullet. Everything's gonna be okay. I'm gonna tell you how hard we work now on earth, serving the Most High in Christ, is our greatest advantage in the wilderness. This is why you bust your tail now. You think a person coming straight out the world, if they get a chance to get saved, will have what it takes to understand the spiritual maneuvers you got to go through to deal with all the loss and the waiting and the patience? Look at how many years we have to learn to understand how to survive and trust the Lord and wait and trust He gonna come through for you on earth now. And how many years we had to learn to have faith and trust in this arena. You're gonna come straight out the work thinking you're gonna still be in our bodies. We're not gonna be no angelical being like, oh no. You gonna sit back here and be hungry. You gonna have headaches, backaches, sciatica. You think sciatica's gonna leave out? Well, once we get saved, like we want some sciatica. We're gonna be able to fix sciatica. Back pain. What's that? Yeah, plantar fasciitis will still be going on once we get delivered. Tennis elbow, whatever the hell you want, whatever ailment you got, is there. And you better serve the Most High with gladness and joyfulness of heart either way. So, you ain't going to be able to get herbs and some Bengay and some tussin. And none of that's going to be there, man. No tussin for you.
Better tough it out.
No Bengay, none of that. So listen, let's read verse 9 again.
I don't think there's any wine out there either.
There's no wine to relax after a long day of sacrifice.
That's the Mocha David, bro. What's Mocha David? I don't think it's here.
There's no Mocha David. There's none of those. There's those creature comforts that you're used to. Was that
we read this verse before, and brothers was talking about there. It ain't gonna be no music, no worldly music.
I'm gonna say this: if that's gonna crush people, I don't know what to tell you. You in it for a long wilderness time. If you tripping on, they know. Ain't no more little dirt. Ain't no more Wilson Kenny, no more Weezy. I hope that's not the problem.
No Drake
comes back.
No more Drake.
No more the rap battles act. Listen, if that's a problem, I don't know what to tell you. Listen, hey man, I don't know how long. I don't know. You ever see those movies when you see the guy, you know he's gonna die quick, guy? Yeah. Like this guy doesn't have what it takes. He's panicking way too quick.
I have my CDs.
Talking fast. Yeah. He's moving jittery. He's on these movements. Why are you moving so much? Right? This guy ain't gonna make it.
His character's gone.
He's gonna go. He's gonna run when he's supposed to dip or jump when he's supposed to fall. He's gonna make mistakes. Anyway, read verse 9 again.
Zechariah 13:9. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried.
He's going to try us like gold is tried to see if we're worthy of being referred to as gold. Read on.
They shall call on my name, and I will hear them.
We're going to be dependent on the Father, and He will hear them. The funny thing is, He's not going to tell us when He's going to hear us. He's just going to hear us. When you sit back and read all throughout when we was in the wilderness, He came through for us, but on His time. There's a scripture we're going to read where it says, the children of Israel was in a wilderness for 3 days with no water. Then He came through. What's going to be Israel after a day of no water? And a third of the nation is going to be in a certain location, and there's no water for a day. Israel going to start wigging the hell out. A day of no water, Israel going to be losing their damn mind.
They're sweating, they're tired.
Exactly. This ain't a blessing. I'm out here in the desert. What the hell is this?
That's what they're going to say.
If this isn't the most, this isn't my God. That person's on the way out. Don't be around that guy. Because I'm doing this.
Let him go.
I don't know what to tell you.
It's kind of hard to grasp it too, or can be, if after class you're going home to the refrigerator.
Yeah, but I can tell you this: we're better off the ones who sit back here and dedicate their lives every day and are learning how to deny themselves.
Yeah,
have a better shot
at adjusting
than people to adjust than people who just operate with their creature comforts every single day.
And those people that are super critical of everything, gone, bro. Really the super critical.
And the ones who can't have no discipline. It's all of it.
The indisciplined people that lack discipline, they do that. Everything around them, they have to critique everything around them. They have to have an opinion about everything.
And they want to control, or people don't want to control everything.
You can't
listen. You can't control freak is going big. You're going to bug out. Listen, I got to have control. This is no control. This is what the verse is saying. The verse is saying, they shall call on my name. We're going to be begging and praying the Most High to come through, and He will come through when He feels like it.
And people that can't get along with people also. Because it makes it worse when you're thirsty and you can't get along with people. It's even worse.
Because remember when you read in Exodus, in Numbers, Israel was digging wells, and they would know it was stink water that came out. It was bad water, right? So I mean, you're sitting back here digging wells for hours, because you want to do what you want to do.
Yeah, you're straight.
You want to get this. Well, I'm gonna get this water because I got muscle and a can-do attitude.
Yeah.
And I'm a sweat. You're just gonna make yourself more dehydrated. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
You go get there's no water. I was thinking for 8 hours, and now it stink was bad water. And that's the point. Listen, so I want to paint the picture so we understand how this is really going to shake. So, he says, they will call my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my power. And that sounds poetic and beautiful. But when you got to be out in the streets and wait, we're going to see what the human being is going to be operating like. When you're sweating, how you going to act?
Ain't got time to think.
So then, we're going to let this go. I'm going to go to Isaiah chapter 1, verse 24 through 26.
Come.
Isaiah chapter 1, verse 24 through 26.
Come. Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 24 read.
If you're complaining now, this is my thing. I look at when we do jobs, we do work, we do different things, and brothers complain all day. I'm like, bro, are you serious? You haven't learned how to shut up yet?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it doesn't make any sense. I'm like, it's not supposed to make sense. Don't that's the whole game. The game we're playing is the don't make sense game.
So when the Most High had Israel waiting for 3 days, listen, when the Most High made us wait 3 days for some water, that didn't make sense either, did it?
It's not going to make sense. That's the whole point. It's not supposed to make sense. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
But like, that doesn't make sense. This is crazy. I know it's crazy. Man. Why are we doing like this? Because that's what we're doing. Like,
Listen, you better love the Lord.
Why I gotta follow
the only is you better love God while when shit don't make sense.
Lord,
shit don't make sense. You better love the Lord when it don't make sense.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, this point, remember right here, he's not making any sense. Okay, he's not. I'll do that for 15, 20 years. My point made sense forever. I'm like, that's a joke. We're out here. We're up till 3 in the morning. We're up till 3. We gotta get to 6. We gotta produce with 3 hours of sleep. If you don't make money, you gotta be up till 3 again. It doesn't make any sense. You better figure it out. You better figure out how to enjoy where you're at.
I'm just enjoying the non-sleep that I'm getting every night. I just love the fact that I'm getting 3 hours a day.
I'm on the toilet like this. Oh, I got an hour. You better be happy with that hour you got. You better be good.
Yes, my wolf.
I was gonna say it's probably gonna be kids involved too, babies.
Of course, it's gonna be children and women. Hell yeah, and it intensifies the.
My rib is suffering. She's suffering. You're still alive, aren't you?
Listen, just imagine this basic conversation we're explaining times 1,000.
Yeah.
All different actors.
There's gonna be mild. You ever watch that Stephen King movie? It's about The Mist.
Yeah, the mist.
If you watch The Mist, it'll give you an idea of how insane human beings are. I don't care they're Edomites. Jake is even like that, just talking louder. And sitting back here and being more bold and boisterous about their complaints.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest, Doc. That is what do you think the wilderness is going to be like?
Yeah.
And I'm
I'm going out there. I'm tired of this.
There's no Bible getting ready.
I'm tired of this.
Yeah.
They don't hear no Bible out.
I'm getting out. You coming with me? I ain't dying here.
Yeah.
I ain't going through this.
I'm from Brooklyn.
Yeah,
That makes it different. That makes it different.
Yeah.
You're from Brooklyn. It's supposed
Son.
to you can handle this.
Okay. If you go through there, you can handle the apocalypse. That's not true. That's not true.
You can make it. You can make it.
You know those little white clothes. You can survive here. You can survive anywhere. No, that's not true, sir.
I'm a holler.
That's not true.
I never. We live better than this. This is I'm from the street.
Let me
It does
stop.
not matter.
Come on. Listen, this is real. This is real. Let's go to Isaiah 1, man.
Come.
You got in there?
Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 24 reads, Therefore saith the Lord of hosts, the mighty one of Israel, I will ease me of mine adversaries.
He says, I'm going to ease me of my adversary. I'm going to wipe these dudes off the map. I'm tired of these cats. Everybody's anti-me. They going to all get it. Read on.
Wow.
And avenge me of my enemies.
That is the apocalypse, people. Read on.
And I will turn my hand upon thee, and purely purge away thy dross, and take away all thy tin.
During this time of purging, I'm going to sit back and take away all the dross and tin that's around the metal. That dross is the waste. He's going to purge us from that waste that's on us. Because just because we get saved from the initial blast of the thermonuclear destruction doesn't mean we're still not full of dross and tin on our bodies. We're still full of filth, wickedness, lust, pride, hatred. It's still there.
You know what?
So he got to purge all that dross off of us in order for us to have an opportunity for salvation and to be our bodies and our spirits to be changed.
Yeah.
You have to earn that physical change. You got to earn that change by allowing Christ to purge you of that dross and that filth that's inside of you. We got a lot of work to do after we get in these chariots. Read on.
Come, verse 26. And I will restore thy judges as at the first.
After he purges us, then he will restore the judges to where they used to be. We're those judges that have to be purged and restored.
Because we never got it right in the first place.
That's my point. That's why he has to reset this development and this purging.
That makes sense.
So we will be in a position to judge Israel and the rest of the world the right way when the time comes. Does that make sense? Okay. Read on.
Come, and thy counselors. Come.
Read it from the top, verse 26.
Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 26 reads, And I will restore thy judges as at the first.
He's going to restore us by purging us. By him personally, Christ personally developing us and rooting out this filth that's inside of us. If we survive, then we will be restored as judges. Read on.
And thy counselors as at the beginning. Afterward, thou shalt be called the city of righteousness, the faithful city.
We're not going to be called the city of righteousness and the faithful city until we're purged. We thought when Christ comes back, we in these chariots, it's over.
Yay!
No, it's not. You got to get purged of that dross and filth in order to be called that city or that people of righteousness. Because we have a major job to do once we are purged. It ain't over. We have a lot of work to do after the purging. You have a lot of work to do to get purged. Well, first of all, you have a lot of work to do to get saved and put in the chariots. We have a lot of work to do to get purged. We have a lot of work to do after we get purged.
I don't see why I'm never good.
I don't either.
People say that.
I know that's why I'm responding. We better sit back here and lock in. And then I said we had a long road to hoe before we finish the job. Read on.
Come, verse 27.
No, I don't want 27.
Okay.
Let that go. Now go to Ezekiel 20. Verse 32 to 38.
Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 32.
So everybody got it?
No.
Actually, a decent time. We won't finish the class, but we're at least on decent time. Read on.
Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 32. It says, "And that which cometh into your mind shall not be at all."
The way we think salvation is going to occur, the way we think the end is going to turn out, isn't how we imagine it at all. Read on.
That ye say, we will be as the heathen.
You know what I mean? I have a dream that little black boys and little white girls going to sit back here and hold hands and say that old Negro spiritual. That's the black man's dream, man. We sit back here, we come together, we're going to be treated as equals. We're going to be respected. We're going to assimilate and fit in and thrive in America.
Think of now, magic water fountain.
Yep.
The good water.
Everybody get the good water. Everybody get to partake with the white folks. Remember Uncle Ruckus? Look at that. Look at them. Smelling like lemon pledge. There ain't nothing wrong with them. I was like, damn. You see that? Listen, Uncle Ruckus talking like this guy is crazy. Then they were both. It was this dude and the girl running out. He was like, look at him. Look at this white man. He is something special. Smelling like lemon pledge. I'm like, damn. This guy was really like losing his mind out. So the Most High said the way we think life is going to end up being is nothing compared to how it's really going to go down. It doesn't look like America's going to fall. And even if it has a dips in the economy or the money might not be right, it doesn't look like it's going to be a global change of sovereignty. Even if when Russia takes over, it ain't going to look like it's a different type of world. He's like, the future is nothing compared to what you think it's going to be. Read on.
It says, as the families of the countries to serve wood and stone.
Mm-hmm. We're not going to sit back here and be committed to just serving the nations and serving the idols of the nations. Even though that might be what a lot of Israelites want to do. Read on.
As I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, surely with a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out, will I rule over you.
This is what we read, if I'm not mistaken, in 2 Ezra 15:11. 2 Ezra 15:11 says, I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before. Right here in 33, he says he's gonna with a mighty hand and stretched out arm and with fury poured out, he will rule over us. So he's going to sit back here and rule over us mightily, and he's going to save us with that same mighty strong hand. But he's going to teach us how to follow him. When he says he's going to rule over us, this is Christ. We're going to have to learn how to follow, how to serve, how to be in order. Read on.
Verse 34. And I will bring you out from the people.
So he's going to bring us out from the rest of the world, from the rest of civilization. Whether it's Israelites in America, Central and South America, Europe, Africa, the islands, doesn't matter. China, Vietnam, all Israelites, and another caveat we're going to read about, are going to come together, and he's going to deal with us face to face. Read on.
And will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered, with a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out.
So he's telling you, when he ends up saving us from thermonuclear destruction, he's not going to be sitting back here playing patty cake with us either.
You're not jumping into a golden city because you missed the bomb.
And it's not going to be a comfortable experience.
Huh.
He said, with a mighty hand, stretched out arm, and with fury poured out, is how he's going to deal with us. He's going to deal harshly and strict with us as he's developing us. As we're getting retaught. It's not going to be this comfortable, casual process that we might think the deliverance is going to look like. Yes, sir.
So when we're in that wilderness, the rank will still be established all over again, or still? I mean,
He's going to sit back here and establish his own rank. Whatever the hell crappy rank we got, it is not. Whatever little, I'm a general. You know that matters with the Most High Act?
Nope.
I'm an officer of 5,000. Shit. I've been in the chief for 30 years. Who gives a damn? You better lock in, G.
Yep.
Because we're gonna read who's the real generals. We're gonna read about that. Who's the real captains of the host, putting things in order. Okay. So read verse 34 again.
Verse 34. It says, "And I will bring you out from the people, and will gather you out from the countries wherein ye are scattered, with a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out."
So once we all get delivered with these chariots, the fire starts. The heat increases and intensifies. Once we touch down from all these different parts of the world. Read on.
"And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people,
Now, matter of fact, yeah, that's fine. Read on.
and there will I plead with you face to face."
So he says, I'm going to bring you into the wilderness of the people. But the problem is this. The wilderness, when you sit back and look at the word etymology of the people on the eastward, he says the wilderness is talking. I'm going to read what I saw and I wrote it down. It says we know the 1/3 of Israel is going to be gathered from around the world into the wilderness. Another word for the wilderness is a desert. Mm-hmm. We're going into a desert. The brothers say, yeah, we're going to South America. When I thought about South America, I'm thinking that there's banana trees. You know, there's food to eat. I get some mangoes out if I'm hungry. No, bro. I don't know if there is a desert in Peru.
In Peru. There's deserts in Peru.
Okay,
in Argentina.
Well, listen, wherever it's going to be a damn desert. It ain't going to be plush. It's not going to be fancy. We're going to the wilderness, which is the desert. Then it says a place where humans are nomads. That's where we're going at. We are going to a place where humans are nomads at. For the Most High to deal with us with fury poured out. That don't sound awesome. That don't sound like the kingdom. That don't sound like the kingdom of us.
No, like better ones.
The kingdom? We're going to be like camel jockeys out here. Learning our Heavenly Father for the first time. In the wilderness, in the desert, in the place where men will be nomads. That means there's no resources to pull from. Why is that important? He's going to put us in places where no resources are there, so we can only depend on who? Yeah. That was the purpose behind the desert. Yes.
Couple of that verse.
What verse?
Psalms 107.
Yeah, that's fine.
Psalms 107, 1 through, I guess 6 for now. Just to add on to that point.
Psalms chapter 107, verse 1.
To what? To 6.
Through 6, you said?
7. Let's go to 7.
7?
Yeah.
Psalms chapter 107, starting in verse 1.
Read it.
God. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good.
Perfect.
For his mercy endureth forever. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so.
And this is the ones who are left behind should be saying this.
Huh?
Because it's better that you was left behind than if you died early.
That's bad news. That's bad news.
It's bad news regardless, but it's worse news for those that died early.
Yeah, that's what 2 Corinthians 13 said.
Exactly. It was a blessing to be left behind. That's what it said, verbatim. But keep reading.
God, whom he hath redeemed from the hand of the enemy, and gathered them out of the lands, from the east and from the west, from the north and from the south.
It just goes to show the Most High is going to be taking us from all four corners of the earth and bringing us to a central location to try us. Read on.
Verse 4. They wandered in the wilderness in a solitary way.
That solitary means remote from society. So when it's saying they're wandering in that wilderness, That desert is an uninhabited land. There's nobody there.
Now this is talking about what happened in the past, but like we read earlier, this is what's going to happen in the what? Future. Okay, let's keep going. Or
No, this isn't past.
This is the future. This is the future.
Yeah, because he never gathered us from the north, south, east, and west.
That's
from
true.
Egypt.
That's true.
So this is the future. This is the future.
Lot. Okay.
Read on.
Like the same fashion as what you mean.
It's the same fashion, but he's right. This is not talking about when we left Egypt, because we were all in one spot in Egypt.
Okay.
This is we're going to be gathered from all the four corners and deal with this.
Okay.
Perfect.
Read 4 again.
God, verse 4. They wandered in the wilderness in a solitary way. They found no city to dwell
I
in.
mean, the Most High is not going to give us the opportunity to lust or to think that you're getting out of this suffering or getting out of this trial. Because a lot of us, we're always looking at ways out of the fire. We're looking at ways out of the adversity. He said, we're going to be put in a situation, in a circumstance where there is no plan B.
Great verse.
There is no other option. Even those that want to run away, they got nowhere to run to.
You're in a nomadic place, huh?
You got to figure
It's
it out.
like Dune, huh? You remember that movie, that show Dune, huh? It is out there, just dust, huh? This is damn dust. It's hot and it's dusty, huh?
Come.
And you out here just hoping you get some water, huh?
Come.
Read on.
Hungry and thirsty.
We're going to be hungry and thirsty. That's what you just said. I mean, we're not going to have enough. We're not going to have enough to be set.
We're going to have enough.
To
We
survive.
are. But when you sit back here and read about the circumstance that we went through, the Most High says He clothed us and fed us and took care of us.
Yeah.
But what He doesn't tell you is how long it takes, how long these meals are going to be spaced out, how long this water is going to be rationed out.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to get pushed to the brink of wanting to quit before you get that reprieve.
And a lot of us don't know how to eat for substance. A lot of us eat for pleasure. So even that changing is going to be a huge adjustment. To no longer eat for pleasure, no longer eat for gratification, no longer eat to where your stomach is full. You got to eat just enough so you can keep walking.
Bro.
You can keep living. You can keep functioning every single day. That's an entirely different diet.
Huh?
Keep reading.
Hungry and thirsty, their soul fainted in them.
And that's the point. The soul is crying out.
That means they're breaking down.
They're breaking
When
down
your soul,
spiritually.
listen, he didn't say their body started fainting. He said their soul started fainting. That means they are glitching.
Kinda.
Israel is damn glitching at this particular point.
And
that means they're
these are the
spazzing
strong
out.
ones. These are the strong.
This is the 1/3 that the Lord chose outside of the wicked. He says the ones who've been fighting to be on point are going to get pushed to the brink. For your soul to faint, listen. Remember when we read in Psalm 73 when David said, "I almost fainted." Sitting back here thinking about how Saul's getting over murder,
wicked, yeah.
and he's living life and being negative, and he's still smiling. I almost went left.
Exactly.
So what he said is that when he said my soul almost fainted, that means he almost went left.
Just quit.
And went left.
Exactly.
So he says we're going to be pushed to the point where we're what? What verse was that again?
Verse
5, yeah.
Bro, listen, he says our souls fainted. We're going to get pushed to the brink of quitting. Pushed to the brink of going left.
But the Most High already does already.
That's my point. He pushes you to, and this is why people that do the work of the Most High every day have a slight chance. Because we understand the idea of getting pushed to the brink, then it comes through.
Yeah.
So he's going to do the same thing on a national level where everybody who's left got to get pushed to the brink. And whoever can stay positive and stay pure of mind and stay in order will get through it.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Verse 6.
Monster verse.
Verse 6. Then they cried unto the Most High in their trouble, and He delivered them out of their distress.
But how long did it take?
That's
us
what
to
is
get that
never
delivered?
explained.
Exactly.
It wasn't explained during the time. All you just heard about was complaints that everybody was thirsty and hungry.
Yeah.
They don't tell you, sometimes it does, but it doesn't give you all the specific about how long, how many licks does it take to get to the damn bottom of the damn, yes, a Tootsie Pop. How long does it take before you start to break down? How many days can you stay on point before you crack? That's what the purging is, yes.
Listen, all you're bringing out is crazy. What's in my face is like the righteous.
Face.
I'm sorry. This is in my
Yeah,
face.
keep going.
It brings to life the righteous shall scarcely be saved.
Done.
You know,
Because the ones who are on point are the 1/3, and they're going to barely make it.
Striving to the truth until death. You're on death's door. Walk in the desert. There's no life. There's no vegetation.
You're in the desert, and all you got
is faith.
Is faith and the experiences that's led you to this point where the Most High has been there for you in the past. Because you don't have a bodysuit upgrade out. You don't get a bodysuit upgrade out.
Yeah.
You don't get an engine that go where you can kind of endure things. You are in the flesh still, right?
I just want to read this one verse. I'm going to read it. It was in 2 Ezra 13 and 23. It says, he that shall endure the peril in that time hath kept himself from slipping. It says, they that be fallen into danger are such as have works and faith towards the Almighty. Because that's literally, if you can get through this time period, will show the Most High you have works in the Most High.
Yes.
You have faith.
And you will be worthy of the Most High taking away that negative spirit and giving you a fleshy heart. You have to be rewarded with that.
Okay.
But that is based upon when every part of you wants to be the individual in this wilderness.
Exactly.
You still choose Christ and the body. And you're going to get pushed to that brink as long as he feels like doing it. Don't forget, we were in the wilderness for 40 years.
Yeah.
How long do you think this purging might go? Who the hell knows?
It could go 80.
Listen, I'm going to say this, it could go 40 to 80 years, but does age matter? No, because the Most High didn't sit back here and age our shoes. Our clothes didn't wear out. So if he can sit back and extend the life of some damn sandals, you don't think he can't keep your life going? As long as necessary to see how real you is?
How long is that going to be?
Listen, you can't say, I'm older. I'm so tired, I can't do this no more. No. Voila, I give you more energy.
No.
How's your outlook now? I'm going to give you just enough energy to show me you really don't want to be here.
I thought we were going to have the kingdom.
How about that?
I should just die in the bombs. People, I think all kinds of crazy things.
Yeah, they're going to say madness.
It would have been easier if I just died.
Yeah.
Than to sit here.
And then think about all the stories in Exodus.
Yeah.
Ground swallowing up.
Yeah.
Serpents biting people. This is going to happen again. What you going to say?
So, all right, we know.
How about them apples? Everyone wants to dance like it's in the Star Wars. Like, everyone said that we celebrated that, we won that. Yeah. No, you didn't.
It really comes.
You're back, and you jump out of the frying pan into the what?
Fire.
The fire. The purging.
And it shows how the minuscule things we complain about now, how our brothers can't handle the slight inconveniences of now. How are they going to really deal with real inconvenience later?
God. They're not. That's an easy one.
So the same spirit is going to jump back on us like after.
I didn't say it's the same spirit.
No. My question is this: we will still be ungrateful.
Hell yeah!
See, all of this didn't have. We still would be selfish.
Yeah. You know what's crazy?
All those spirits.
Think about Israel now. Right? Once you sit back here and you get through it, you get through a difficult time. You be praising the Lord for a week. 2 weeks max. After it wears off, we're complaining again now. We complain again now after the Most High saves us from life and death situations.
Brother ain't Jake no more. Man, I'm glad I'm Israelite.
And then don't forget,
3 months later,
they was slanging dope, and the Most High almost killed them, but he gave him some time.
Yeah.
And 1 month later, we're pissed off about life again. We're angry about life.
That's you.
That's us now. So we're going to sit back here and see the fall of America. We're going to be in spaceships shooting laser beams. Then we're going to still forget the Most High when we're in the desert again, in the nomad land.
It's still going to be you.
Think about this. Listen, the laser beam story going to last for a few weeks. You see, that was the Lord. The Lord is real. He is so real. Yep. He is so real. And then over time, it's going to wear off.
Until it gets hot.
Or you
it's real until it gets hot. It's real until there's no water. Like it is. Most High is awesome until you're inconvenienced.
That's the point. All that newness will wear off. Yeah. This is the purging. Listen, we went through 40 years of walking in the desert. You don't think it could be at least that? I'm not saying it's going to be that. But listen, what we're going to read in the next class is that because the conditions are so bad, the rest of the world is going to be dying to follow us.
Yeah.
How many years got to happen of anarchy and chaos before the world is waiting for the saviors of the world to come? How many years does the rest of the world got to be destroyed and broken down and terrorized before they say out of their own face, I don't want to live, I don't want this American dream, I don't want any remnants of America and the world that we're living in now. I need Christ. How long do you think that got to happen? How many generations got to die off before they don't want no part of this type of life? And that will tell you how long, approximately, it's going to take for us to get purged. That's a scary one, ain't it? That's real and it's scary. You don't know how long this purging process is going to take. All you got is the victories in Christ that we have accrued in the knowledge to this point going on. So we sit back here being angry about life and angry about what's not working right. We better learn as many lessons as we can to get us ready for what we're about to face, if we're able to face it.
Because like you said, it's practice. I gotta practice. You know, one thing I always took from Kyle Cobb, he always puts himself in a very agitated state of mind.
Yeah.
All the greats in the Bible put themselves in very agitated states of mind.
And they accepted it.
And they accept it because when life actually got difficult, they're the only ones that kept their cool. When you know what
agitation means? It means abstinence. I'm not getting what I want.
I'm not even want anyway.
And I'm in a constant state of not getting what I want to the point where I don't want nothing.
And that's the point. Because if I never want anything,
I can't be. Satan can't be the prowler.
Exactly.
That was the prowler before the prowler is arrested right now. That was the prowler. Right?
It was.
Satan is the prowler.
Huh.
If there's nothing that I really want, I can't be manipulated.
Exactly. Can't be tempted.
So, are you finished with that Psalms 107?
Just finish out 7.
Yeah, kind of. Psalms chapter 107 and verse 7.
I gotta put one scripture.
Okay.
Psalms
verse time. No, let him finish his verse real quick.
No, it's on the same point.
Okay.
It's not taking it off far. It's not a transition. Psalm 131 verse 2.
Psalm chapter 131 and verse 2.
Uh-huh.
It says, surely I have behaved and quieted myself.
You better learn how to behave and quiet yourself. It's simple as that. It's not the desire of wanting things and constantly being unhappy because I don't have what I want or I need this or I need that. You better learn how to wean yourself, quiet yourself. Read.
As a child.
As a child. Read.
That is weaned of his mother. My soul is even as a weaned child.
His key point, this with the point that he was bringing out, his soul is like a weaned child. I better learn how to go without. You were on the point of dealing with Kyle Cobb and his ability to maintain an agitated state and not be tripping out because I'm under duress or I don't have this. Going back to your point.
Well, because if we're practicing rehearsing the righteous acts, even Nagahara brought out earlier, the idea of it's hard to see that or visualize being without when you go home to refrigerator every day, or when you got microwaves, or when you got fast food restaurants. It's hard to see that you're not going to have that comfort or that level of convenience in your life, and how you would react, even in the truth, even reading the Bible every day, how you would react in yourself without having those conveniences. Well, the answer is, while you're in the truth, how many inconveniences are you allowing yourself to be put in to practice being inconvenienced for the final game, for the final show? Because every part of your spiritual life, not just in class, not just staying 3 extra hours at night when you could be sleeping longer, that's a small inconvenience, and it does help on some sense, on some level. But how many more things are you putting yourself through to keep testing your spiritual limits, testing how far you can go? That's why some people can't even fast for more than one day. They can't even not eat food for more than one day.
Can't quit drinking.
Can't quit drinking. Yeah, exactly. Can't quit drinking. Can't quit going out. Are addicted to things. Addicted to TV. Addicted to food.
Energy drinks.
Coffees. So we can't. We go crazy without coffee.
Chicken.
We go crazy without fried food.
Black man will get chicken. That's a
It's a problem. It's a problem.
But keep going. I'm sorry.
Brothers go crazy having to cook food at the house every day.
Yeah.
They want to eat out. Everyone has their little trinkets.
Yeah.
But what he's saying is, if you're not practicing the abstinent mindset, going without, not always having things at your convenience, it's going to be a harder transition for you when you really are forced to be in a situation where you have to rely on the Most High 100%.
All right.
And that's what he's saying.
Did y'all finish our verses?
I already finished. It was a simple.
Okay.
David said, "My soul is even as this weaned child."
Yeah.
Training your mind not to be
satisfied. To be satisfied.
But that was his point. He was going into about having an agitated mind, not needing a lot of outside stimulation.
Can I be satisfied? Can I be weaned off? Exactly. You got it? You finished your verse? Let's read it. Let's do it.
Let's finish verse 7.
Right. Psalms chapter 107 and verse 7.
Go to 6 and read verse 7.
Right. Psalms chapter 107 and verse 6. Then they cried unto the Most High in their trouble, and he delivered them out of their distresses. And he led them forth by the right way, that they might go to a city of habitation.
Listen, that city is going to be the city that's called righteousness. Is that kingdom out? Okay, but what do you got? You finished that verse?
No, that was it. It was just showing it. After all those distresses, Most High is eventually going to lead us back into the city
and be restored and
exactly.
be developed, and then be what we were supposed to be after we were rewarded with immortality and a new heart.
Yeah.
The point of this, you read Jeremiah 31, you read Jeremiah 9, talk about that new heart the Most High going to give you.
Yeah.
And that sounds churchy as hell. One day he's going to give you a new heart. You're going to be a dirtbag forever, and you just get earned a pure heart. He's going to have a fleshy heart out of nowhere when your heart was cold-blooded. He was cold-blooded and negative, and all of a sudden you just, voila, like magic, you're going to be good. You got to earn that new heart. You got to earn that whole different outlook to be one of the group that's going to put this world back in order. Does that make sense? Okay. From that, let's read Exodus 15 and 22. It was just an example, and I talked about it briefly, but an example of what being in the wilderness is. So we have an idea of what we're going to be expecting. Exodus 15 and 22.
Exodus chapter 15, verse 22. So Moses brought Israel from the Red Sea, and they went out into the wilderness of Shur. And they went...
Think about this. Right after this great miracle, the Red Sea happened. All these great memories of the Most High. It was a near-death experience, and we got saved, and it was blessings, and we were happy. Because Exodus 15 talks about that song that Moses was kind of saying in praise and Heavenly Father after we got taken care of and blessed. But right after that, we left and we went to this wilderness, this desert, this place where nomads leave. And then what happens?
It says, and they went 3 days in the wilderness and found no water.
There ain't no water for 3 days. You out here sweating. Yes, the Most High came through for you. Yes, the Most High blessed you. But now you ain't getting something that you think is a necessity.
Yeah.
We're going to be put to a position where things that we expect that should be necessities aren't going to be there as accessible as you might want them to be. And that's part of the test. How are you going to act when there's no water? After 3 days of having no water, your mind starts playing tricks on you.
Yeah.
Like the damn Ghetto Boys song. You're going to sit back here and have delusions. Maybe I'm out here. Maybe the Most High wants me to die.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants me to die. When
3
your
days
urine
you
is
can't
like
die.
dark yellow.
Yeah.
You have dark yellow urine. You're pushed to the brink. You might start having delusions. You might start getting dizzy and about to pass out. He's pushing you to the brink just to see, am I going to say, if the Most High wants me to die, let me die?
Yeah.
That's what he wants to see. It doesn't matter what I'm going through. If this is what he wants me to do, I accept it wholeheartedly. That's the expectation. Now, are we going to operate like that when we're pushing the brink? Or are we going to sit back here and turn on the Most High. What was you gonna say?
No, I was just going to explain that. I remember when I was first learning to fast, and I didn't really know what I was doing. So I thought we were supposed to fast with no water too. So I did it 3 days with no water and food. And I remember I didn't realize you could actually die from that. So technically, look it up. 3 days no water, you can die from that. And I was playing football, doing it, etc. By day 2, my skin, my mouth started chipping, started bleeding. My body, every ailment, injury I had in my entire life from football and sports came out of nowhere. I was cramping up extremely bad. When you have full body cramps, you're in serious trouble. It starts with a toe cramping, and then the fingers start cramping, your body locks up, and now you gotta go to the ER. You gotta get an IV put in. So that cramping scenario is one of the main things that start happening. You ain't getting no water by day 3. You already been sweating. You're moving around all day. It gets really serious.
But how about the Most High said He took care of us in the wilderness?
I know.
So the thing is, can both of those answers be correct?
Yeah.
Can the Most High have taken care of us, and we get pushed to the brink of something seriously bad might happen to you, while the Most High takes care of you too?
Yeah.
1 second. If we can process that concept, then we can begin to accept how the Most High in Christ operates with us. Remember, David said, I am a move away or a step away from what? Death.
Yeah.
He said, I'm a step away from death. But you know what? Knowing that he was a step away from death, he still praised the Most High and never had a negative outlook towards him.
He was always close to death.
That's what I'm saying. And with that, he still never lost his outlook. This is an example of what the purging really looks like. What you gonna say?
I commend you because
That noise, what noise is this? What cut the noise off?
It's a phone. It's a phone.
What you gonna say?
I commend you because I fasted for 3 days, but not like that. The first day it was fruit and water. The second day it was all fruit. By the time the second day all fruit, I was struggling. The third day, nothing.
I'll say this: it was foolish. I didn't know no better, because I passed out in the field. I had a football game.
Actually carried me by my arms. I
get it.
To a restaurant to get some nourishment.
I get it. I was passed out. Pre-game, I'm doing high knees, and I'm falling out because I thought I was a fast with no water. So I'm looking at the 3 days no water. Look, a lot of people will be flipping out,
and they're walking though.
And they're walking.
They're walking from the Red Sea,
and it's hot,
to the wilderness to the desert, the nomadic desert of Shur.
Yeah.
With no water.
And you don't know when you're gonna stop. You
don't know when the water's coming.
You seen those mirages?
Yeah.
You see the wells. And it's a straight desert.
And what's going to keep you positive is, listen, you could be out there with those, we're going to go into the class eventually, what's going to be like to be outside. What are they dealing with on the outside of this situation? There's a whole different dynamic. Well, I'm going
to say this. The spiritual talk can work day 1.
Yeah.
Day 1.5.
Councils might work day 1.
Day 1.75. When you start getting to the end of that day 2, and at that day 2.5, you're like, man.
Hey, there better not be no leaders.
And then you still got weaker people than you that are tripping day 1.
I know. Hour 1.
And then the thoughts, all that negative makes a spiritual person's battle even harder.
Exactly.
Yes. And that negative starts to wear on you.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to be on point. And you ever been on somebody
all the time.
I'm so tired.
I'm just dying today.
I'm so frustrated. I'm like, can you shut the blank up so I can do my job for God?
That's
damn. If you've ever been at the mall, like you working on your face and your outlook guy, and everybody, it's so dead out here. There's nobody to sell to. You're out here like, I gotta make this 3, bro. I don't need to hear you every 5 minutes. Every mall worker is saying, there's nobody here.
But
I want to get out of here.
You hear the echo from down the hall.
And there's nobody here. There is nobody there.
That's why you hear the echo.
They're correct in their assessments. But it doesn't change the fact that I gotta have faith. Man, it's dead out here. And you hear this whack mom music in the background. These old 60s, 70s songs. You got to sit back here and just weather through this and be pure of heart. And you got phone calls every hour and an hour. What's going on?
That's every 30 minutes.
These toes got to pick up. What are you doing out here? Man, it's dead. It's never been this dead before, ever. This time of the year. Why is it so dead?
Tell us.
I'm like, how do you stay positive?
Yeah.
I'm not positive. Why are you even positive? Why'd you? I don't know why I showed up. I'm like, damn, bro. Right?
It's called mall sadness. It's called mall sadness. They come and they just look at you like
it's mall sadness.
My friend.
I can't keep my business open. I can't feed. There's not enough money.
How are they family? That's all. What do we do?
Well, listen. What we're saying is not a lie at all. But just imagine it amplified because there's no water and food. And you got babies crying, acting.
That's the worst.
Ribs crying.
That's the worst.
Brothers acting like broads out here.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Is that?
No, I was just going to say about the mall thing. Something that's close that we can relate to, brothers that were there. You remember when COVID hit?
Yeah.
You remember when brothers was at the zones? It was like 2 zones. No, it was 1 zone. And the other people, the reports we get was, they were like, why are you guys even opening it?
Yeah.
Why are you guys opening it? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because the Lord's here.
Because God has showed us it works.
It did. It did.
And it did work.
That's what I was going to say. Was that even in those times,
That was crazy, though.
dealing with the people saying, why are you
We
opening
were doing moves during COVID. With masks, Scott.
Yeah.
The point is this. I think the picture is being painted clearly, man. But it's going to be harder when you're dealing with millions and millions of people. We don't want just a handful of people. 5 to 6 negative Nancy's out. We're dealing with millions of people in this wilderness. And feeding everybody. And everybody's hungry and thirsty.
Speaking different languages, but they got the same complaint. You know exactly what's
Bro.
talking about.
Screaming and crying and bouncing.
The brother getting down.
Getting down.
So I just brought out Exodus 15 to show just not having accessible water for an extended period of time, what kind of reactions that can be.
Yeah.
And how people can get turned to mutiny just on the water.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about no food. There's no water. So we're going to keep going into this, but it's a real serious situation, and we got to be conscious of these things. Let's go to Ezekiel 20 and verse 36 now. Yeah, it's still on there. Should be. And we're not going to be able to finish this in class, but that's okay. That is okay. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah. Ezekiel 20 and verse 30. Let's read 35 again.
Right. Ezekiel chapter 20 and verse 35. And I will bring you into the wilderness.
And that wilderness, like I said earlier, is a desert or a place where humans are nomads. We're going to be nomad travelers in a damn desert. Don't know where that desert is, but that's where we're going.
They never make those pictures on YouTube or online, like all those Hebrews like pictures out with all the powerful angels and the brothers and Christ coming out super strong. The angels all looking good.
Everybody's yoked.
Everybody's
it looks like damn.
Ripped.
Who was that bodybuilder? What's that dude's name? No, not C.T. Fletcher. Like the baddest one of all time, man. Ronnie Coleman. Everybody is in Christ like Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah.
All the angels look like Ronnie Coleman. Huge legs, teardrop. Pew, pew. Like, come on. Okay, that's cool, but that ain't how it's going to really be. What was you going to say again?
No, I was saying there's always depictions of the angels and how powerful the chariots are.
Yeah.
But God started making some depictions of
we're going to be in this desert, bro.
That depiction needs to be made. That's what
we're doing this for.
That's what we really going to deal with.
That's the point. Let's get out of TV cartoon land and get to the real. This is the real. Listen, this is why we got to embrace the hardness now. Because you think this is going to be easy when we get delivered? It's not going to be easy. So why are we playing like it's going to be easy? It's not. Let's keep going. Verse 35.
Verse 35. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face.
He's going to plead with us face to face. when he deal with us face to face. No more just you got to read scriptures. You got to sit back and study to show thyself approved. Now class is in session. Hands on. You're dealing with Christ, looking at this man face to face, this angel, this angelic power face to face. And we want to sit back here, operate, learn how to change on the fly. Think about how long it takes for us to change now. You think we have all that time to make adjustments? You must, oh yeah, Father, I just need some time. This isn't my normal sleep schedule. This isn't my normal time. I'm cranky in the morning. You think that's going to be okay? Don't talk to me until I get coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm no good until noon. I don't know what to tell you. Listen, bro. All these little isms we have, there's too many people around. I'm just not used to this. You think Christ going to give 2 notes about that? We better adjust. He's pleading with us face to face. What you going to say?
No, this article right here says thirst can make people feel more pain, and the brain integrates the two sensations, thirst and pain in the brain. A study using PET scans found that when people were thirsty and experienced mild pain, 2 areas of the brain lit up, indicating that the brain was integrating the 2 sensations.
I believe that.
It just makes everything. It just
intensifies everything. It does.
Thirst.
So you're saying when you're thirsty, all the fleshly senses rise up?
Come on,
That's why the water situation. That's why they turn up in the water situation.
It makes sense.
You better have faith. you better listen.
That makes sense.
I doubt there'll be Gideon Bibles in each tent that we have. I don't know. I don't know. There's gonna be Gideon Bibles in each tent. Now hear me out. I doubt there's gonna be Gideon Bibles in each tent. You better sit back here and go on what you know, and you better have some good experiences of the Most High in Christ. You can't sit back and there's no timeout cards. I got to go in my tent and get my head together.
But know these stories.
You better remember these stories. Lock in and love the Lord.
Yeah.
It's the truth. Listen.
I remember years ago, a brother was doing push-ups. He was doing push-ups, right? And the brother started screaming. I said, "Bro, you okay?" My mouth is dry. I remember that. I'm like, God, is that bad? Is that bad? We're doing push-ups.
I remember that.
Toes wasn't getting made. That was doing push-ups. No, knock this number out. We're gonna knock this number out. We didn't do our job. Like, you gotta get back.
I want you to visualize it. It's like the whole. You know how the off the school is like cool. It's like 70 degrees on that. It was hot. There was no AC. It was no AC. And so the school back in the day was a different place. It was hot.
Yeah.
It was like a sauna in there. It was a sauna. It was, no. It's the old school in Guadalupe.
Oh.
So the pushes are being done. There's no AC really. So you're sweating because there's a bunch of bodies sweating. When everybody's working out, the whole room gets hot.
It's hot, bro.
So it's hot, and people are angry. It's like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. It's midnight push-ups. That's what it was. Yeah. But keep going. I'm gonna tell you something.
And just everybody's going, and that one brother stop. You have to do everything in unison. It's pushed in unison.
And if it's not done in unison, they gotta redo it.
It don't count. It doesn't count. If you can't do this. Oh, I'm on 10. You're on 5. It's okay. We're gonna get. No, bro. We're up, down.
These are called unity push-ups.
Unity push. You want to be unified? We're gonna be unified. And then one brother stops. Like, bro, we cannot.
That's not the first stop either.
We're at 85. We're at 85. Right? We'll go back to 0 if you don't lock into this count. Let's keep going. What is the problem? My mouth is dry. Like, bro, that's stopping everything.
Yes.
Everything stops.
Yes.
Because your mouth is dry.
And that's a group. That's a group of like 15. So there's like one wild card out of 15.
Yeah,
2 or 3 wild cards out of 15. Yeah. Imagine 6 million wild cards. Out of 6 million, you're going to have like 2 million wild cards.
Well, that's 15 that actually are trying to believe.
Well, I know that, but everybody that gets to this little finalist slot kind of wants to believe. But you're still looking at out of the 15 that want to be here, it's like 4 to 5 are going to be tripping.
Yeah.
This is not for the faint of heart. Yeah. You better have some faith.
Yeah.
And you better be humble. And you better learn how to follow when you have the opportunity to learn how to follow, and that's now. So, Christ is going to be pleading with us face to face, in your face, looking at you, dealing with your issues, our issues, as they come about based upon the distress that we're experiencing. Read verse 36.
Ezekiel chapter 20 and verse 36. Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt.
Stop. This is why we keep going back into what the Most High expects. He pled with us face to face in Egypt as well. And all of these inconveniences and these challenges and the suffering we went through, the Most High was sitting back, or Christ was sitting back here and judging us based upon how selfless we could be, how humble we could be, how much we're not going to be into our lust. Could we learn how to handle success? Can we follow orders? Can we see the good in the Lord despite challenging situations? All these things was being tested and looked upon while he was pleading with us face to face in the wilderness, in this desert nomadic place, wherever the hell it is in the United States. Patagonia was what I was thinking about in South America.
Okay.
Horrible place. Horrible place.
Yeah.
Hope it ain't Patagonia. Look into that out. Not good place. Let that verse go and jump to Ecclesiastes in the Bible 1 and 9.
That's beautiful.
There's nothing to eat there, bro. There's no vegetation and it's freezing cold.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
That's your flight be not no woman.
Ecclesiastes
It's true.
1 and verse 9.
Yeah, it's in Chile and Argentina. That area is all desert. South Argentina and Chile is all desert.
Listen, that's a tough assignment, bro. That's a tough. You ever see those Naked and Afraid shows? Yeah. There's certain places where they go, you know they're gonna survive. It's a little cold, a little windy. They're gonna have some bug issues,
mosquitoes.
but there's food.
Yeah, there's food.
But they be going to those islands, they get their ass kicked in islands out.
Yes.
They always get their tails kicked because there's no food, there's no good water. Yep. The water's bad. It's just ocean water around them. There's nothing you can do, just thug it out. Anyway, I hope we get this. We're going to get a desert, so it is going to be what it is. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. Read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 9. It says, the thing that hath been, it is that which shall be.
Once again, the experience in the wilderness in Egypt, leaving Egypt, is going to be the same as the experience leaving the land of the north, going into the wilderness after leaving present-day Egypt. The same thing is going to happen. Read on.
And that which is done is that which shall be done.
Read on.
And there is no new thing under the sun.
Nothing new is going to happen under the sun that we're going to be experiencing. Okay? So, let all that go and jump now to Exodus 14, verse 13 and 14. This is another aspect of what's going to what happened in the past with Israel leaving Egypt is going to happen the same thing here. Exodus chapter 14, verse 13 and 14.
Exodus chapter 14, verse 13. And Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still, and see the salvation of the Most High.
So you know what? We saw the salvation of the Most High in Exodus. And we're going to sit back here and see the salvation of the Most High leaving America. It's the same thing. Right? Read on.
Which he will show you today.
Yep.
For the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever.
The same thing about we're going to see that America's going to be on top. When we get picked up, America will be no more in power forever. Read on.
The Most High shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace.
Mm-hmm. Let that go. Let's go 1 or 2 more verses. We're going to stop. Go to Exodus chapter, probably this one, and we'll elaborate next week. Exodus chapter 12, verse 36 through 38.
Exodus chapter 12, verse 36.
Let's read it.
Exodus chapter 12, verse 36. And the Most High gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians.
Hold on 1 second. I think I put the wrong verse. No, it was. That was it. Did I say 12? Matter of fact, yeah. Keep going. Start from the top. That's my fault.
Exodus chapter 12, verse 36. And the Most High gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they let unto them such things as they required.
So once again, everything that happened in the Exodus times is going to happen in the future. So pretty much what's happening is we borrowed all their riches and left, which means we stole it. But that's okay. Read on.
And they spoiled the Egyptians.
Mm-hmm.
And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot that were men, beside children.
So there was 600,000 men beside children. Okay, that's it. So we're listen. If we're going to add women and children, we're over 1 million, easy. If it's 600,000 men, including women and children, I mean it's probably 1.2 million. If we're going to be honest, but I want to be conscious of this: that 1/3 of Israel is going to be saved, men, women, and children, like we're reading here in the scriptures, but also who's coming with us. Right on.
It says, verse 38, and a mixed multitude went up also with them.
So that means the nations left with the Jews. Servants and other nations left Egypt with the Jews. So it was 1.2 some odd million. I'm giving just roundabout numbers. I don't know for sure. We had at least 1 million people leaving. And on top of that million, we had a bunch of other nations who cleaved to us and followed us out of Egypt. It wasn't just Israelites. That's important. And we've been reading this entire time. The same thing that happened in ancient Egypt is going to happen when we leave America. So when we go to this wilderness, it's not just going to be us there. It's going to be the nations there too, who serve the Most High. The nations who love the Most High and have shown the Most High that they have earned an opportunity to get purged with us. How about that? Read verse 38 again.
Exodus chapter 12, verse 38. And a mixed multitude went up also with them.
We've been all agreeing when we're hearing about how the Most High wants this situation to be the same way it was in ancient Egypt. That means the nations are going to be sitting back here, obviously in a subservient role. Obviously, they have chosen to serve the Most High. That's why they're in this position.
Like the Kenites.
Like the Kenites, and just the nations who chose to cleave to us, they're going to be cleaving to us also. Okay? And it's the mixed multitude. Read on.
And flocks and herds, even very much cattle.
Now, I'm not sure we're going to be sitting back here herding goats and sheep and cattle out there, but the point of being purged is the same. Israelites are going to get purged, men, women, and children, as well as what? As well as the mixed multitude of nation, their men, women, and children also. Does that make sense? Just to make sure we understand what mixed multitude means, give me Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 3. Nehemiah chapter 13 and verse 3. Read that. You're good. You got it? Well, I got it. He got it.
Nehemiah 13 and verse 3. Now it came to pass, when they had heard the law, that they separated from Israel all the mixed multitude.
So it's letting you know that mixed multitude is a separation, and they're not Israelites. That's why I'm explaining what the mixed multitude is. They're non-Israelite people. They are Gentiles. Not mixed breeds and half-breeds. No. They're not Israelites, and they're coming with us to get purged. I think that's a good place to stop. We will go into specifics and more detail about this next week, but this is the first half of the topic. We'll finish off this part next week and then go on to the next phase the next Monday. Are there any questions? All right, Israel, to walk. What was that? Okay.
Yes, sir. Is this account where we go into the wilderness, and from the wilderness eventually are we led to the kingdom?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we're going into.
Okay.
But we can't get them pearly gates until we get pled with in the wilderness for an undisclosed amount of years. It ain't gonna be a couple days, man. Come on, man.
I was there for a week. I want some water.
I got white garment. I got this. Oh, look at this white suit. I got this white suit because I was righteous in a week.
Like they say in the street, it's gonna be a minute, G.
It's gonna be a minute.
It could be 400 years.
You better prep it for something crazy like that.
Hey, that's how it happened in the past, right?
Well, 40 years. Well, listen, we're the water tuning in. Why everybody's jumping? We got it. Shalom.
I thought it was already over.
Why Israel? Listen, everybody's leaving and jumping around. We was at class on Wednesday. The water and shalom.